Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to our Friday podcast. The world's gone insane. Let's talk about it. Joining me for now is Mr. Zamo Hung and Mr. the biggest of them all, Ho, D Jose 101. Hello, guys. How we doing?
Right,
Doing
thanks.
all
Don't
right.
really care. Let's get on with it. Right. Okay. Yeah. So today, later on, we're gonna have more people join us. I just wanted to stream through the gaming news with as less of people as possible because there's a lot here, and for those that don't really necessarily are gamers, you know, come in when it's your time. Basically, I know that sounds rude, but let's get into it. I mean, fucking, let's start off with. Actually, Jose, why don't you take the floor? You want to talk about some Suicide Squad stuff?
All right. The gameplay. What the fuck is it with this hit number bullshit? Did you guys see all that shit? It looks like a fucking slot machine, or it looks like a fucking pop up antivirus software kind of thing. That's how bad this shit looks. It looks fucking horrendous.
The game hurt my eyes.
Yeah,
Like,
if
it
you've
literally
seen
hurt my
snippets of
eyes.
the gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It looks like an epileptic fit waiting to happen. But
exactly.
my interest has waned so much that all I care about regarding that game is just the cutscenes to watch a mini movie basically.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
I like it's funny because as more and more content comes out about that game, less people are watching that content. People have made their minds up,
Yep.
and unfortunately, this game is gonna flop. It's gonna fucking flop hard.
Oh, it's going to go down. It's going to be the worst of the year. It's going to be like Saints Row. Luckily for Saints Row 2022, they did add cheats, but that's not saying much. But with Suicide Squad, this is going to be a game, if people are going to play it, it'll be get one of those when it's like a 70% off kind of thing. And I predict it'll take about 6 months or less for that to
I
actually happen.
guarantee you. Oh, 100%. You're 100% right. But I also guarantee it's going to be on PlayStation Plus
Within a year. Within a year, it will be.
Within it took Saints Row like less than a year to become free, I think, on PlayStation Plus. And
Yep.
You know what? To that game's credit, multiplayer was bloody hilarious, but the game was still 10 years behind everything else. But with Suicide Squad, it brings me great joy knowing that hopefully still, because you never know, but it's looking like this game is going to be dead on arrival. And
Yes.
even if it has like a bump early on, it's just not going to sustain. People just don't want this kind of crap anymore. You know, I literally, like I said to you guys, my eyes were hurting. It was a slot machine. It was casino. It was, I was just like, so I couldn't watch the footage.
This shit makes Gotham Knight look like a masterpiece. And Gotham Knight, it's one of those where it's like, man, I got it for like $20, and for what it is, it's a decent game. But man, gone are the days of when Batman games used to be the shit. I miss those days so much.
Yeah, ditto. You know, and the caveat to that is, though, Hosea, that the founders of the Rocksteady Game Studio have moved on, and they have finally announced the creation. I knew they'd left to create their own studio whilst they were working on Suicide Squad, and they've now officially launched their own studio called 100 Stars Games Studio, or something like that, 100 Star Games, and they're currently in the process of recruiting and all this.
They got about 30 people, and they want to get 100 to be more precise.
Yeah.
So they want to become a big studio as well with 100 people. 100 people is a big studio.
It's a big studio, but it's still in between that indie and big studio. I mean, it's no Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like big indie studio. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Thanks for the correction.
Cat, what the fuck do you want?
They're not based that far away from where I am. They're down in Stratford, between Hackney Wick and Stratford, and that's so.
Yeah, they're still based in the UK.
Yeah, they're going to be based in the UK still, which is good.
And the funniest fucking thing about all this is the fact that Rocksteady did not want to make this game. This is what we're overlooking. They wanted to make a Superman game, but Warner Brothers pulled a Hulk Hogan and went, that doesn't work for me, brother. And then they decided, yeah, no, fuck that. You were going to make Suicide Squad. It's canon in the Arkhamverse. And I'm like, I think I'm going to do what Zam did. Just wait to watch the cutscenes. Because the only two reasons I'd check this out is because one, Harley Quinn is playable, and two, Kevin Conroy's last time as Batman. It's his final role, and that's the only reason. But even then, I'm not going to recommend this game.
Well, for me, it's the tragicness of it, like the fact that you haven't, like, the bad guys are the good guys are the bad guys. The good guys need to be killed. Mm-hmm. You have to kill Batman. You have to kill the Flash. Who would have thought of these things? You know what I mean? They have to be killed, in order to succeed in the game. Kill Superman. All of these things. That is a very original concept regarding story, and I'm very interested in that.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just one of those games where it's a bit like Mafia 3. Mafia 3, the gameplay was not great. Mm-hmm. It was a very mediocre game, but it has one of the best storylines of a game ever.
Yep.
And you could just sit there and rewatch the cutscenes like you're watching a 4-hour film or however long the cutscenes are.
That being said, I am gonna check this shit out when it's a deep sale, because the story does kind of intrigue me. Even though the gameplay is going to be shit, I'm like, you know what? I'll see it for myself. But I am in no way paying for this fucking game. Not full price.
The thing is, Jose, by the time you decide to buy it, the servers will be so fucking empty, and this is a multiplayer game after all. A PvE game that it might not even be worth getting later on if you've got nobody to fucking play it with.
That's why they're adding an offline mode, because they know this game is going to suck.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But with the former heads of Rocksteady starting their new studio, here's the question: what licenses should they get? Now, I said in the comment section on, God, what was it? It was IGN or one of those fucking places that they should go for either. It was Young Yea's video. For two options: either go get the Marvel license, because Marvel license isn't an exclusive license, so they can get. Hello, Rick. They can get different. They could get a license for different characters, except for Spider-Man, and do Marvel games. Yep. There's Star Wars out there as well, which is again an open license. But there's also, me personally, there's two options I would go for. Three, technically, if they want to stick within the kind of comic book genre or the licensing genre. 2000 AD Comics, which is British owned, based in Britain. You got Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, all these kind of other amazing stuff. But Judge Dredd should be, if that was me, I would prioritize a Judge Dredd game, because it's no different to a Batman game, and it would be amazing with those people working on a Judge Dredd game. Rogue Trooper would be another great game. That's one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games as well. Very underrated gem. And the other options are Mark Millar's properties, Garth Ennis's properties like The Boys, and
I was thinking that.
The Boys. There's Invincible. There's Jupiter's Legacy. Well, Jupiter's Legacy you can't really make to a game. It won't be interesting, but Invincible will be a great game. The Boys will be a fantastic game. Other stuff that Mark Millar's done, I keep forgetting off the top of my head, would be great. And also Image Comics. So you can go after, this I don't recommend because he's a pain in the ass to work with, but maybe they can go to McFarlane to get the Spawn license and do a Spawn game. So there's lots of options there that doesn't need to anchor them into DC Marvel.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on that, Jose?
I would say, if you could pick up the Marvel license, that'd be great, because there's still money to be made in Marvel. At this rate, we're not going to get Wolverine yet. I'm not even counting on it for this year. It's one of my most anticipated games. But
that's coming out. That's coming out in 2026.
Oh, okay. So we still
did you not see the leaks that happened?
Oh, yes, I did a while ago. Yep. But I would go after Marvel. That's where the money is, obviously. But even if they did like their own indie titles and went after other comics, like you said, I'd be great with that too. It's just unfortunate for Rocksteady that this could be the thing that shuts them down. Suicide Squad could be the thing that ends the studio. It could happen. And it's kind of sad because it's not the same Rocksteady anymore that it was 15 years ago.
But it isn't the same Rocksteady, so I wouldn't really care because the people who run it, it's just Rocksteady by name, not by nature. Those who are in charge are not the original people. The original people are doing 100-star games, as Penny said. So if it does shut down, so be it. I mean, they deserve to after what they've created is monstrosity.
Yeah, and also just to interrupt there, sorry guys, I'll let you. 100-star Games is actively recruiting either former Rocksteady staff or people that are working there. So even if the studio shuts down, a lot of that staff could end up back at that studio. So then you're back at the beginning again with an amazing studio. Not this time, not run by a fucking corporation as stupid as Warner Brothers Games. So it's not all doom and gloom for them. Obviously, they probably won't be able to recruit everyone, but there is a somewhat silver lining should the inevitable happen. Because Jose, I think you're right.
Yep, I think this could be the end.
Over.
Yeah,
because I don't know who's working on. Because I think it's Warner Brothers Montreal that are working on the Wonder Woman game.
Yep,
I think so. Yeah, and they'll just end up giving the studio the DC license, which sucks. So yeah, for anyone joining us in the comments, we were quickly talking about the abomination that was the Suicide Squad game, but also the former heads of Rocksteady Studios that did the Arkham series have created their own studio, and we're just throwing out.
Yeah, I'll give you my opinion. For a start, I'm glad you mentioned The Boys because that's the direction I would like to go. But it could be anything regarding The Boys. It could be The Boys themselves. So you're playing people who don't have superpowers. Maybe you get Temp V or whatever, or you could play as the fucking superheroes themselves. It all depends really. Like the thing with those particular shows is they're so heavily story driven. That a narrative is really required to make it an interesting game in the first place. Like when you mentioned Judge Dredd, I was immediately thinking of some sort of morality meter where you judge people. You know, like what sort of judge are you? So stole an apple so you could keep eating 100 years, or you know what I mean? Like you could be like that sort of judge, or you could be a judge who's a bit more lenient, and then see what the repercussions happen from your leniency or from not being lenient, all of that.
That's a great point. That is a great mechanic to have in the game, like how your kind of judgment meter type thing. And how you are with punishing criminals or letting them go. What are the repercussions? How does that work with the story?
The butterfly. Those games are always fun to play.
Yeah.
The butterfly effect.
That creates a huge kind of RPG element to it.
Yep.
Go on, I'm sorry.
How will people perceive you? Will you be stopping crime? Will you be continuing? Will crime increase? All of these sort of things. Obviously, you would have to have that gun with a variety of different modes on it. That's a given as well. Infiltration, detective work, stuff like that. You want all of those elements in there too. Don't make it first person because we're going to talk about a first person game in a minute. But don't do that either. I'm sick to death of FPS. I sometimes feel like FPS games are a cop out when it comes to making games mechanically because you don't have to work on a character. You just have to work on a fucking gun or some shit like that. You're floating in the air. But yeah,
it's mechanically. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but mechanically, I find FPS games way lazier, and they only have their place in shooters like Call of Duty and war games and things like that. They don't have a place in stealth games. They don't have a place in magical games, fantasy games, and things like that.
What about VR though? Because like,
VR, it's great in VR.
Because they made the Assassin's Creed VR game. And a lot of people were waxing lyrical about that simply because you are in that world. So you, in a way, it makes sense in that sense.
Of course it makes sense because you can look around, you can see, you can touch, you can climb, you can all that. So it makes sense. So first person in VR is great, especially when now that technology is getting better. Because the early days you get really fucking dizzy from it. I know I've got a PlayStation VR, and So yeah, in that world, first person can reign supreme. Resident Evil Village was amazing in VR. Fucking blew my nuts off. So yeah, but in terms of mainline gaming, AAA gaming, it only has its place for things like Battlefield, Call of Duty, things like that. So yeah, so there's lots to do there, but if I was them, I'd definitely prioritize the Judge Dredd license. I think they can make absolute bank with that, especially with the mechanics that you said, Zamo. And next we're going to move on to.
I had one last question. I was gonna do like an over under on how much y'all think this is gonna sell. There is no way this game sells. Maybe they'd be lucky to get to 1 million copies. I think that's gonna be their ceiling. They might.
I think 1 million is going to be their ceiling. Yeah, 1 million, and that's still a flop. That's still a flop.
I look at a couple. Obviously, you're going to get your hardcore fans who are too young and naive to think straight because they're too busy being fanboys, and they're the ones who are going to buy it. I myself might have been like that a long time ago. Fortunately, I've fucking grown up. But I also think post Christmas, when people are tightening their wallets, I don't think it's going to sell that well for that reason alone. So there's
I think I think people are going to definitely. I mean, now like last year, the evidence is evident in what sold and what didn't sell. Last year, what was the highest selling game of last year? Harry Potter. Single player RPG. Baldur's Gate could have sold as well, but it's only PC, so obviously it's not going to reach the same numbers as Harry Potter, which was cross-platform. But that's the first time it outsold Call of Duty.
And I know
in the UK, it was still fucking FIFA, but in the United States, it was Harry Potter, which makes a huge difference. It just shows you. And a lot of the live service games last year, they all flopped.
Live service is not the model to go with. People want single player games.
Exactly.
Hello.
All right. And it's just, there's not a big roster of games that are coming out this year. For me, I think again this year it's looking like Nintendo Switch is going to reign supreme.
For me, the only PlayStation game I'm looking forward to is the new Yakuza. Even though it's a turn-based game, I love that series so much. I'm playing Like a Dragon right now, and I'm just like, this is a fucking awesome game. I just love this game.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I love the Yakuza series. I cannot wait for next week to play the sequel.
There you go. Yeah, mine will just be there's a Mario versus Donkey Kong and Peach Showtime, which look awesome. There was 2 games coming out on console, but I can't remember that were PlayStation and Xbox related.
Yeah,
I know that when I see Xbox, I can get it on PC. So
because Xbox is going down. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced.
Well, that moves us. I talked about it last week, where they're going to start. They're looking like a lot of their exclusives now just going to be going on to other platforms.
Yep.
So things like that pirate game and
Skull and Bones.
Not Skull and Bones.
There was something else. Yeah.
Oh God, I forget what it's called, but it's huge. Like it has a big player base. That's going to go cross-platform. And there's a couple of other exclusives that are going to go cross-platform. It might seem that Bethesda will end up going cross-platform as well.
I'm not shocked because that's where the money is.
Yeah, even having them as an exclusive, it's just people aren't buying Xboxes and they're not signing up to Xbox Live. So the safest
Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Thank you.
Sea of Thieves. Yep. Thank you, Rick.
But I do think that there's going to be like a load of indie games that kind of like break through and probably really test the market because you look at, for example, last year we had Viewfinder, which did really well for itself despite being a small indie game. I think Baldur's Gate, I'm not sure who published that. I'd have to have a look. See, I'm sure that's going to be not Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not sure who published that.
I forget who published it, but they're an independent studio. They're not tied.
Yeah, exactly. So that's on Gangbusters. So I think the future is going to be. I think the AAAs I'm not going to say they're not going to be as important anymore because you got your Grand Theft Autos and whatever, but the independents are probably going to start overtaking because they're bringing out the fresher products.
Oh yeah, this is the golden age of independent games right now. This is the golden age of indie games. Because you can get them cheaper too. That's the best thing about a lot of these indie games is that a lot of these are cheap as shit to play. So there's always something out there for everybody.
Like I heard, Mortal Kombat 1 is dropping.
It is
on the live services. Like people are not playing. And I mean, it's because the game is so fun. It is a specialist game now. You know, like you have to be a top tier fucking gamer to play it. Casuals like me won't fucking go near it. You know, because after the story mode, there's no life in online gaming because you're gonna get your ass handed to you every fucking time by fucking pros. So so that's the direction of those particular games now, and it's a shame, really.
God damn it! With Mortal Kombat, it was after a certain update that people got pissed off, and then like the amount of they were charging for games for players, characters, and all this kind of shit. People were just like, no, fuck this, on to the next one. So it's dropped off massively.
I mean, that Suicide Squad game is coming out in, I think, 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, 2 weeks' time it's going to be out.
Yeah, we already talked about it earlier.
Oh, sorry, guys. But
as I said, dead on arrival.
Say your piece anyway, Gary.
No, I'm going to say, I mean, I think it could work with kids. Like, I'm talking like, you like early teens. Like, 10 to like 40, because
it's not made for them, though.
No, but I mean,
I think it might be. No. You're absolutely right. But like they might not be able to buy the game. It might be a 15 or something like that.
Just never stop them.
Call of Duty, that's not going to stop people. Yeah, people, their parents buy their kids Call of Duty every single year. So yeah,
this is the game for the whale. The whale will buy this game.
No. Even if they do buy, it's great. They'll buy the game. But it's still going to go the way of Mortal Kombat. That after a while, the novelty is going to wear off very quickly, in my opinion. And and they're gonna realize how shit it is, how repetitive it is, how mundane it is, shooting purple fucking spots all the fucking time. Yep. It's gonna bore them to tears.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a game that I don't think will have any legs.
No, it'll be free to play within a year. I'm calling it now. By this time next year, it'll be free. Yep.
Okay, just 2.0.
When it becomes free to play, let us know, and then we'll fucking all play on it.
Then I'm gonna get it, because once they put it on PS Plus, then I'll be like, all right, cool. I've been wanting to play this. I waited, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and there'll be people ready to play it because it'll be fucking free,
and we'll do a couple of sessions together.
What really bothers my mind is the fact that they saw what happened to Marvel's Avengers. How shit that game was because it went the live service route. It's like, and they didn't learn anything from that. It's not.
They never learn.
No. Listen, CEOs don't think like that. They don't understand external thing. The only thing that they see externally is live service equals more money.
Yep.
We can keep people hooked, keep them playing all that. They don't even listen to the fact that it's a failure. Prime example, Square Enix. Enix. Time after time after time, we're going into NFTs. Ubisoft, we're going to NFTs. NFT market is dead. It's non-existent now.
Yep.
Still, those two companies are insisting on NFTs. They are the two prime examples of they do not listen. They are the emperor's new clothes. Okay, they just do not fucking listen, and they're surrounded by people that aren't too afraid to say something or just don't give a shit either.
Yep.
So, this is the problem. Bobby Kotick was a prime example, with Overwatch 2. If you see how much and completely derailed it.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't care. Just get it out there and money. That's how they think.
Yep.
So
executives with Fallout and everything.
Yeah. I mean, because look at Starfield. I mean, that had potential to be really interesting, really exciting game, and it came out and it was pants.
Yep, it got boring as fuck like a couple months in. Starfield, it was one of those where it was like boom.
It's your bland. It's like your stereotypical bland Bethesda game, which is why I can't. They have this sort of look about it where it looks great, but inside it looks dead. Like everyone's like fucking like this. You know what I mean? It's like fucking.
Not staring into space.
Yeah. Like,
I
would you like to know about Starchild?
Yeah. I'll never understand people's love for Bethesda games. I'll personally, I'll never understand.
Skyrim is still a masterpiece. I don't care.
I tried it, but I just fucking bored to tears playing.
The only good thing about Skyrim,
New Vegas is great. New Vegas.
The only good thing about Skyrim was when they done that Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon mod, and that was fucking amazing.
I will down the hill.
And the Thomas Tank Engine mod.
New Vegas is great. New Vegas.
Like the older Fallouts are fucking amazing. That was where Bethesda hit their peak. With like the older Fallout,
that wasn't even made by Bethesda. That was made by Obsidian.
Yeah.
I think
so their best game was made by someone that's not them. That tells you everything you need to know. Todd Howard is like a fucking cancer, and he needs to go. He needs to fuck off. They should have sacked him when they bought Bethesda.
Yep,
because he sucks. Zam.
And but every studio, like it seems like the moment the corporate claws get into them, whether it be Rockstar, Rocksteady, Ubisoft, and most recently CD Projekt Red. I remember our friend Christine, she was waxing lyrical about Cyberpunk 2077 is made by CD Projekt Red, yada yada yada. Ended up being no different to all the other shit that we fucking seen, and they made that game first person, which is unforgivable.
That was the worst mistake they made.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and the fact that they haven't changed that yet still bugs me.
What's that?
That they've made it Cyberpunk first person.
Yeah,
it's just a waste, and it's just such a dull-looking game anyway. Like,
I mean, so what do you guys think about the new? Sorry, have you talked about the Indiana Jones game yet?
We're gonna get to that.
We'll get to that. Well, I was about to get to that, but Jose had some questions. Anyway, so
but now you can move on.
Yeah, so we are moving on to Indiana Jones.
Have you seen the trailer, Jose?
I haven't seen it.
I have not watched it.
Shall we put it up?
Shall I get it up?
Up to you.
Yeah, let me get it up.
Do you want?
IGN's got a 3-minute trailer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Sam, you do it because I have to sign in because I deleted all my fucking cookies.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just that on my Opera browser, I've deleted all my cookies.
I've heard people jizzing their fucking pants over this Indiana Jones game. Like, they're like, oh my God, it'll be better than Uncharted. And it'll be like, okay, hold on.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. It looks.
I think it looks great, but they've done something which I'm not happy with.
They made it first person. I did hear about that.
Yeah, they did that.
That could work though. In their defense, that could work because
but you want to see your character when you got a guy who's got a hat on his head that sometimes falls off his head. You want to be able to see him pick up his hat, put it back on again after a fight or something like that. When you're playing as a pop icon character, you want to see them in the flesh, not through their flesh.
Yep.
Not just that, it kind of limits the traversal of it because you could do a whole bunch of stuff, but you're doing it in first person, and that's just annoying. Like, I don't want to fucking see that in first person. I want it in third person.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sands of Africa.
Myths, history. That's different ways to interpret the past. thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs, scattered and buried. Just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me. Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
That Mirror's
I've run
Edge.
ins with these guys before.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I can keep up?
Defying physics right here. All right.
Patron of the
That plane would be nowhere near for him to jump. It was gone already. You know what I
Protector of
Yeah, he'd be dead.
mean? Be landing on the ground.
Kulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
I'll tell you what. I think like this, like Suicide Squad. I think the story is going to be really, really good. But overall, I mean, it looks like a really good game, and you know all of that. But it's fucking first person, man.
That's what that's what's making me not going to buy this, because I'm like, if it was third person, I'd be all about it. I'd be like, all right, this is the shit. It looks dope, but yeah, this ain't it for me.
This is you're a mute, Ginger. You muted
Yeah, I
yourself.
was gonna say.
There you go.
Yeah, I think for me, just it being first person, it just does my nut in. It's just a waste of great potential.
Yeah.
I was muted when I said it, but you know, it has all the elements in a game that I like, which is stealth, puzzles, and traversing. You know, Tomb Raider, basically, which is one of my all-time favorite games.
Yep.
And having that in fucking first person, it's just so frustrating. I know why they did it, because that's the company, they only do first person games. Plus, Todd Howard's a moron who thinks that first person is the best view. Fucking isn't. But the thing I liked about his games is that you can switch between the two. You can do it first person, you can do it third person if you wanted. Which every game should have that bloody option. It really frustrates me that they don't have that option. A lot of earlier games in the 2000s used to have that option.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, my all-time favorite game, has that bloody option, and it does it really well.
Yeah, if they had a third person patch come in, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll buy it. That's all it takes. All you have to do is give me a third person option.
I'm gonna be the voice.
What game was that, Vance?
You must be thinking of the Nintendo one, because I remember that one, the one that came out way the fuck back in the day.
3.25 Jones is voiced by this. Yeah, it's Troy Baker's doing the voice.
Troy
of Indiana
Baker.
Jones.
Yep.
He does a good job.
Classified.
And it did an earlier as well. You know, it's a good job as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the voice of disagreement because this reminds me of.
You're always the voice of disagreement. That's why we love you, baby.
But there's a game I love called the Call of Juarez. This kind of reminds me of.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, where you do whipping in first person, so you'll be able to do shooting. But I do agree with what these two gents are saying, that you do want to see Harrison Ford or Indiana Jones in person, getting a punch on.
Yeah,
there are moments of traversal, like when you're climbing and stuff like that. It switches to a third person view for some bizarre reason. But
that makes sense. Though it does make sense because you can see where you're going. But the whole game should have been third person.
Yeah.
It's an easy fix. Like you're literally, when you're driving and when you're doing other things, it's switching into third person. Just fucking stay in third person.
Yeah, that's all I want.
You know,
anyone
the
else?
excuse
Yeah.
people were giving me was that, well, it's because that company's that's the engine that they've used for other games, so they're sticking with that. I'm like, that's not good enough. You
Yeah.
know, not like I'm sure it'll still do well because there's a lot of stuff that people like about it, but
Mhm.
not being third person is kicking the teeth. Sorry, Sam, I interrupted you.
No, I just want people out there, play Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. For me, it's the greatest Indiana Jones game ever.
Lego Indiana. Lego Indiana
no.
Jones is where I go. I love that shit.
I've never played that. I have to play that.
It's good shit.
But the Lego, all the Lego games are of a similar ilk. If
Yeah.
you want to play a game which is Indiana Jones, then play Emperor's
that
Tomb.
one.
It's the best one. And it's dated
Yeah.
now and all of that, but it's very good.
And the second,
yeah.
Sorry, Sam. The second best Indiana Jones games is this one here. The
Yep.
Last Crusade, which was as a point and click game, but it was a great game. It was a great game. We had it on the Amiga. It was awesome.
Like with Emperor's Tomb, you can pick up furniture and hit people with it. And
Yep.
then when the furniture breaks, like a table leg, you can pick that up and hit somebody with it. You know what I mean? It felt like Indiana Jones. He's a brawler. You know what I mean? So you've got all that brawling elements to it. You know, and it's really good. And the puzzle solving and all that is great as well.
Yep.
It was in that era of the greatest games era ever, which was around the Unreal 2 engine era, and where Lucas games were just amazing. And it's just tragic. It's absolute.
I mean,
what's happening to
like
the game?
Fate of Atlantis, which is the first one of LucasArts point and click games, is a great game as well.
What
Fate of Atlantis.
Yeah.
I never played that.
That was great. Last Crusade came with Henry's Diary that you had to use. Yeah, that's right. You did. You had to use a booklet. Oh, it was so good.
Yep.
It was so good. 100-foot long 7th century BC temple was uncovered on the Greek island of Evia. It was packed full of gold, silver, and amber. If you can link me the article, Vance, I'll have a look at that later. I love that kind of shit. 7th century BC temple. So that would be the Mycenaeans.
I mean, what a lot of people were saying is that basically they should have made like an Uncharted game, but just put Indiana Jones in it instead.
Yeah,
because the Uncharted games are truly Indiana Jones games when it comes to that vibe.
Just with a half-tuck shirt. That's the only thing that's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would still want more originality than that, but but it is a start, so to speak.
I like what they have in this game. I like the elements they have in the game. I just don't like the first person. That's it. You know, I don't want a game constantly interrupted with cutscenes, which is what pisses me off with the fucking.
I also don't want it to be like Metal Gear Solid 4, where there's more video than gameplay, because I hate that shit too.
That was Metal Gear Solid 2 for sure.
Yep, Metal Gear Solid 2 was that way too, where it was like, there's like 45-minute cutscenes toward the end of the fucking game, and then you're like, oh, okay, we know all this shit. Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
That's all right. You guys carry on.
So what's this thing about this Greek temple? I'm a bit curious.
I'll find it. I have to type it in because I can't.
I mean, that's some Indiana Jones shit right there. You know what I mean? Unearthing that. So a temple covered with gold and silver and amber.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
What's that?
Okay. We will save that for the wrestling segment because news is coming out right now.
Oh, okay. Archaeology. Oh, whoops. I fucked that up. Sorry. Archaeology.
Okay.
What's this? I need to sign up.
Oh, you have to sign up. No, don't do that.
Forget that. I'll just type here.
Oh, by the way, though, the Indiana Jones and the Grand Circle will be coming out this year, surprisingly. Which is something I wasn't expecting. Like I said, I probably won't buy it. If it's just a single player game, the longevity of it's going to be, it'll probably be done within a day.
I don't like single player because you have a companion with you, the woman that's in it as well.
I mean, she could be like a Sully type character, you know what I mean? from
Yeah.
Uncharted, in that sense, and that was never a two-player game. But will it have multiplayer aspects to it once you complete it? I'm not so sure.
I don't know.
You
Yeah.
know?
Let's have a look here. An excavation on the Greek island of Evia uncovered an unknown temple near the temple of Amarisia Artemis, still overflowing with rich offerings. Heavily used altars filled with ash found in the temple feature alabaster vases, jugs, amulets, and jewelry. The majority of the temple dates the 7th century BC, but archaeologists discovered portions of the site that are even older. Ooh. The archaeologist finds kept coming for a team of 50 researchers on the Greek island of Evia, but the kicker may have been locating 2,700-year-old altars full of precious jewels and historical remnants. Nearby the ancient temple of Amarisia Artemis on the country's second largest island, archaeologists discovered another temple, this one from the 7th century BC. It came, well, you're just fucking repeating yourselves. Is this bloody AI written? Notable finds to blah, 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 blah. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Juicy. See if there's any pictures and all of that. But yeah, that sounds lovely.
I got an article here. A 2,000-year-old temple filled with gold and jewels has been unearthed in Greece by archaeologists. The site, excavated on the Greek island of Evia, was discovered packed full of gold, silver, and amber. Dating back to the 7th century BC, the 100-foot building was uncovered in 2023 by a team of 50 researchers. The excavation of the archaic temple brought to light rich offerings, Corinthian alabaster actic vases, ritual prochos. Is that how you say it? Prochos of local production. It's spelled P-R-O-C-H.
Okay. Spell it.
P-R-O-C-H-O-S. Prochos. Of local production, as well as jewelry made of precious materials like gold, silver, and coral. Greece Minister of Culture said a number of structures were also discovered inside the temple, which were likely used as altars by worshippers. A horseshoe-shaped altar was the most unique of the designs, and thick layers of ash, which was rich in charred bones, showed steady use. The possibility that some of them predate the temple cannot be ruled out, the ministry added. The first level of use of the horseshoe altar yielded pottery dating to the end of the 8th century BC. In what researchers believe are some of the oldest sections, they discovered geometric period bronze figurines representing bulls and a ram. The site overall stretches even deeper into history than the temple itself, with test cuts showing remains of buildings from as far back as the 9th century BC. Although the investigations, sorry, go on.
That dates around the Mycenaean period, then before like they became like the Greeks. So anything prior to 7th century, I think, or 6th century is like Mycenaean period. So that's fucking sweet. I want pictures though. Well, there's no pictures, god damn it.
Although the investigation of the earliest of these levels had only just begun, the first discoveries suggest that the cult had its root in the centuries after the end of the Mycenaean period. The statement said. Just finishing here, last couple of paragraphs. In 2015, a 3,500-year-old warrior grave was found in southern Greece with solid gold rings, intricately built swords, fine-toothed ivory combs, and more than 1,000 precious stone beads. The ministry called the treasure the most important to have been discovered in continental Greece in 65 years. You know what? I'm just look. I'm no economist, but if all of this shit gets found, will that help the Greeks' current financial situation?
Ancient treasures kind of just get put into museums. They're not really allowed to be sold. I think the rule only applies for like shipwrecks and things like that. But so it's same like here in the UK. So if you find an amulet full of Anglo-Saxon coins and all this kind of shit, you have to give it to the museum. You can't sell it, which is frustrating as hell. Because I mean, you know, but no, it wouldn't really solve Greeks' economic woes because they're under the thumb of the European
Yeah.
banks, and they're not allowed to come out of austerity no matter what
Ah.
they do. Greece is fucked. I mean, our beach house got broken into now. Since after my auntie died, it got broken into. They smashed the doors in. I don't know what they took. We can't get out there yet. Mom's going to go out there soon. Crime is rife, poverty is rife, and with the right-wing government, they won't do fuck all to help poor people. So no, that treasure will just get swallowed up by some capitalist cunt.
Mm.
Hello,
Yo,
TLD.
TLD.
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, moving on. We've got more gaming news.
Yes.
So Hellblade is going to be a very short game, only 8 hours long. I don't know if you guys played the first one, but Hellblade 2.
No, I'm not into Hellblade.
Okay, fuck it then. $50, 8 hours long, which that's
Meh.
fine.
Yeah.
Meh. Moving on then. Ubisoft. We talked about
Here we go.
So, Ubisoft talked about players who need to get used to not owning their games.
Yeah.
And in the context of what he was saying was like,
Mm.
how people have kind of moved on from DVDs and Blu-rays and just kind of watch it on stream and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, yeah, but there's still a way of them owning that media. You know,
Mhm.
Blu-rays and DVDs are still being made. Okay. Games, people don't want their fucking games at the mercy of corporations that are just going to take them away from there. So the option of not owning your games is still a long way away. It it is an inevitability, unfortunately, because you know that's just how consumerism is. But not not for every game, obviously. But this just goes to the point of I think there's something crazy like 75% of games have been lost to history. And let's face it, if it wasn't for piracy and emulation, a lot of the games just wouldn't be preserved because corporations have no interest in preserving this kind of medium. I don't they fucking do my nutting. This industry does my nutting because they treat gaming, they don't treat it the same as film and TV where it needs to be preserved and archived and owned by people. They don't want you owning it. They want to change the rules all the time. They want you constantly rebuying it. Nintendo, prime example there. You know how they clamp down on emulation on games that just aren't there to fucking make a profit, even if they resold it.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyway, I keep coughing, so I'm gonna take a lozenge. Your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's I'm very unhappy with this because whether it be 10 years or 100 years and I'm still alive, if I want to then go back to something that I purchased, you know, a century ago, I should be able to because I purchased that shit. And it should be on some sort of cloud system where I'm able to fucking just pick it out the fucking air and fucking play it again.
Yep.
You know, once I spent my money on it, it's mine. But what they're basically hoping is that people over time forget about these games and stuff like that. And that's what they're hoping for. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's very counterproductive, and in a way that they are changing the landscape to purposely make it this way by getting rid of
ownership.
We're getting rid of DVDs, getting rid of obviously VCRs are in the background, but you know, like DVDs are as well. Like I don't have a fucking DVD. I have a fucking very powerful PC here with no fucking disk drive player. You know what I mean? Everything's got to be fucking installed, through the internet. That's how it goes now, unfortunately. My PlayStation's the same. No disk drive, but it was cheaper, which is why I went for that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like you can still go out and buy the physical games despite your PlayStation being digital only. And what frustrates me is the corporations. So, a prime example, you buy a CD. This is your CD.
Yep.
A corporation is telling you that the product that you bought and now own, you are not allowed to burn it and turn it digital. To do that, you have to then go buy the digital tracks.
Oh my God.
Which is insane. Do you guys remember when Blu-rays first came out? They gave you a digital code to download a digital copy of that film. And here we have fucking you know, these cheeky bastards, and nobody's regulating them. You know, the thing, there should be a clear thing, a consensus on ownership to say you've bought this, you own this game. They can never tell you how you can distribute it, what you could do with it, and all this kind of stuff. But the fact
Yep.
that nobody's keeping them in check, it just validates piracy. Like, you can't argue with me to say that piracy is bad when the corporations are doing nothing to preserve the history.
Nope.
You know, and same with like, you know, with like, I had the same argument with films and TV. When I bought something like, I think I bought something from Amazon, it was Drop the Dead Donkey, and I can only play it on Amazon products. I couldn't play it on any other player. It had to be through Amazon. It had to be online and all this, and it was absolutely mind-boggling. And because of that, I was like, okay, no, I'm sticking to piracy. I'm sticking to downloading things that I already own, but I want a digital version of, and things like that. Or, you know, if the price is ridiculous for something that's too old, then, you know, piracy is the way. It's preservation.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Piracy,
Reloading as well. Let's not be,
no, but,
you know.
no, but piracy is not as notorious as people want us to think it is, because when it comes to piracy, you're inundated with fucking pop-ups and adverts and commercials of various types. There's a reason behind it, because they know people who don't have the means to buy and physically spend. Because if we did have the means to spend our money, we would do so. Because there are, like, there's so many streaming services now and everything else. People are looking at ways of saving money, which is why they do piracy. And when you go down that route, you're surrounded by pop-ups, video commercials of various types. You know, the Indian ones as well, for instance, all fucking trying to make you go on those gambling sites and shit like that. You know, it's lucrative in its own right. It's not like piracy is fucking goody two shoes. They're selling you products as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And usually, what I heard, but what I heard is that then at the end of the day, like, one of the reasons why piracy is not clamped down as much is because the money still ends up going back to the people who are who are showing the services in the first place. So whether you subscribe to football on TV or you watch it on pirate, those people who are showing football will still get their money back, but the guys are getting it through commercial revenue or through fucking subscriptions.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, it's I forgot what I was going to say, but no, I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck it.
Yeah, this is where gaming is going, unfortunately, is where it's like, yeah, they want everything to be a rental based model or be like a subscription based model, and it's like, yeah, fuck that. Buy your shit, get what you need to get, and enjoy gaming now, because there's going to come a time where it will be going downhill. I'm pretty convinced. This is the worst generation this is the worst that it's ever been as far as gaming goes. But
you're a fucking liar, Rick.
You liar.
Like, the thing is with me, Jose, is that I've become older. You know, I've become a bit more picky in what I get and watch and buy.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, and plus, like, I haven't kept up with the kids, so to speak, when it comes to piracy of video games. Television shows and movies is one thing. Video games is a whole different ball game. And I've tried in the past, and I've come up short. So I don't want viruses on my PC either.
Yep.
You know, when it comes to certain things like games, I prefer to buy it. If I like it, I want to buy it, because, you know, games are fucking expensive. When it comes to films, I wish I could go to the cinema a lot more than what I do. But when you're charging me £18 a ticket now,
and
to
then
watch a film,
and then snacks,
you know, we it's very rare. So, for example, when we watched the Marvels, and we could not get the cheaper tickets at all, you know. But for other films that we watched, I was able to get the cheaper tickets. And when we get the cheaper tickets, I'll go and watch. But when you want to charge me full price, forget it. No chance.
And on top of that, considering so much stuff is fucking naff nowadays, I don't want to fucking take a chance and spend 20 quid on something that could be more likely to be bollocks, just so I could keep up with the Joneses in the MCU. You know, I'd rather just fucking do it the cheapest way possible. You've already got me paying you guys fucking so much pounds a month on Disney Plus. You want even more fucking money of mine?
Yeah, because we're greedy.
I'm not getting a wild card. I'm not paying £18 a month for something where I'll use maybe 2-3 times a year. You
Mm.
know, it's just not worth it. Like I know
And
I
that's how
said
they
go
get
along,
you.
but I don't want to be having. I don't want to be tied to a monthly subscription either. I just want to
Yeah.
watch a film for like £7-8. Okay, because if I watch a film for that cheap, I'll do multiple viewings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be. So yeah,
Yeah, and I think what people need, what more studios or more whatever need to do is do day and date stuff. So when you purchase something, like you were saying before, with your Blu-rays, you get the Blu-ray, but also you get a digital copy, but also maybe you get something else with it, like maybe like you get a DVD copy with it, so it can work on whatever media you feel more comfortable with on it on. And the thing is that A, it doesn't cost you anything more to do that, and B, you've already bought the product anyway, so why not make it more accessible than less?
Yeah.
but we're dealing
And the thing is with this knobhead from Ubisoft saying that, he doesn't seem to understand that some people this is all they're going to be spending the money on for that month, because maybe that's the little bit of spare cash they have, is they're going to spend it on a Bethesda game. Maybe they want to play, as I was saying before, maybe Skyrim, maybe they want to play Fallout New Vegas, maybe they want to play Fallout 4. Whichever it is, they'll spend what it is, the spare 40 quid they got in the pocket that month on your game. So this whole attitude of it doesn't wash with me, because the thing is, there's some people who have to struggle in life, and they're spending their little money they have on your fucking game. Grow the fuck up, mate. Everyone's a billionaire.
it doesn't work. They don't. I told you they're myopic. They don't think about.
They don't care.
anything.
Yeah.
They're bottom line. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, where I live,
is great.
yeah, where I live, it's I don't have the small cinemas, but I could sometimes get Odeon for £7. In which case, happy to go along watch a film for £7. But a lot of the times it's not. It's 18 fucking pounds. Kiss my ass.
Going back to football, all the Premier League used to be on Sky Sports. Now it's on Sky, it's on BT, and it's on fucking Amazon. Like it's just too fucking much. Like I can't. And then you need to pay a king's ransom to subscribe to all of these fucking channels. Since I've given up all my bad habits, I've used all the money I've saved into no longer doing piracy all the fucking time and just and subscribing to things. But even then, I realized I can't. There's too many things to subscribe to.
Yeah.
And I've subscribed to 4 or 5 things.
Yeah, it's like cable. It's basically like you're paying for cable all over again, essentially.
But even more expensive now.
Yep.
Because there's so many different platforms that subscribe to this. No, fuck off. Collectively come under one banner and then sell me a fucking
bundle.
I'll tell you what I'm sub to. Yeah, I'm sub to Disney Plus. I'm sub to Netflix. I'm sub to Paramount Plus, and I'm sub to Amazon Prime. And for me, the best one of the lot, funny enough, in this you might laugh at, is I'm sub to YouTube Premium. And the reason why I'm sub to YouTube Premium is because I get YouTube Music for free, which, in my opinion, is a better alternative to Spotify, because you get all the fucking music anyway, like Spotify. Plus, you get YouTube without the fucking ad, so you get 2 for the price of fucking 1.
That's what I'm gonna do, because I'm getting YouTube Premium next month, because these ads are getting fucking ridiculous. They're starting to pop up now a lot more frequently.
Yeah, in everything you do, and I watch YouTube all the fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah, so it makes sense to subscribe to that. And once again, if you do have Spotify, unsubscribe to that, and then you get YouTube fucking Music, which is just as fucking good. You can connect it. It's connected to your YouTube anyway. So if you're listening to music on YouTube, you can then put it to YouTube Music. I listen to YouTube Music all the fucking time. I'm in my car as a cab driver, blasting YouTube Music all the fucking time. It's a much better investment than Spotify.
Yeah, but it's too expensive, man. It's 13 fucking quid. That's too much.
I'm still on I'm on like 11 something, but because I bought it when it was cheap.
Yeah.
What's it? Zabab TV. Welcome. TLD says tangible stuff is taboo nowadays. I want something I can hold. Yeah, I used to be
Opinion
like that.
on the AFD. Well, we'll get to that when we're going to politics. But right now, I'm doing gaming. So, yeah, but that's what I mean, Rick. Like, even like Sky's charging prices that are just fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, and if you want sports, it's too much. You've got Sky Sports, Amazon, fucking TNT Sports now. It's not BT anymore.
No.
And no, screw you. I'll watch the stuff on Amazon. I've got Amazon Prime because it's save on delivery, so I'll keep that one.
Yep.
And I get the odd football matches here and there. So that one's fine. But that's the only one I'm really subscribed to.
Only Premier League
cheap.
midweek. Premier League midweek, and then you'll get your fucking football matches. Daniel Barnes, if you have VPN, my VPN is shit because I got a VPN, and I swear to God, it doesn't do fuck all. They don't legally allow ads.
If you have a VPN and change your country to Mongolia, interesting. I'm gonna try that.
I mean, I will try it. Usually, I try the mainstay countries, but I'll give it a shot nevertheless.
Ad blocker is still working for me just fine.
Yeah, I've got ad blocker, but the reason why I'm going to do it is because I'll listen to YouTube like on my phone when I'm like just playing video games or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll just put YouTube on, and sometimes I'll listen to the podcast and among other things while I'm like sitting there chilling playing video games.
Yeah, I don't run it on everything. It depends on the channel. Like if I'm watching mainstream stuff like Sky Sports and all that, I'll switch ad blocker on. But for smaller channels, I turn it off just to
support.
I'll just be sitting there like something else while the ad plays, just to give them that revenue.
Yep.
What pisses me off now is that a lot of these fucking YouTubers are sponsored in those particular videos. So at some point they'll fucking mention what they've been sponsored by. Okay, buy HelloFresh or some shit like that. And like for fuck's sake, man, I can't even get rid of these fucking ads because they're in game fucking like they're in video fucking purchases, it's not a separate ad. And the thing is, they don't need to describe.
They don't need to describe what HelloFresh is anymore. We've heard it a million times. Just say, HelloFresh. Use this discount code to get your fresh meals. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah,
and I'll
exactly.
I'll click on the link just so it gets the engagement.
Fuck to think if we were sponsored by something right now, we would totally just segue into that. That would be fucking hilarious.
Please go place.
I'll read out the sponsor because it's money, but that's because that's their requirement. But it's not necessary. Like these HelloFresh.
Yeah, can we just stop to say go play Raid Shadow Legends or something?
Let's play Raid Shadow Legends.
As much as that, I like Young Ye, and he's always taking the piss out of the corporate behavior of video game companies. Now he will still fucking throw in a fucking an advert in everything he does, and I love Young Ye. I think he's really good.
Listen, look, I've got nothing against them being sponsored. I love that they're sponsored because it's money for them. Because ad revenue is atrocious.
Yeah, so, YouTube's algorithm is all fucked up.
All these companies like HelloFresh and all that need to understand. We've heard their advert a million times. They shouldn't be pressuring the host to kind of read out what HelloFresh offers unless it's something new. New additions to things like that, because everyone's heard HelloFresh. Everyone's heard, we're just using them as an example, but Squarespace and all these kind of stuff. We know what they do, and like Squarespace, it's a solid service, so it's worth using if you're going to use it. I know people that used it, but I don't need to hear what they do. I know what they do. Everyone on YouTube knows what they do. So just say the only person who I love hearing talk about who is sponsored by is Jim Cornette.
Yep.
Because he goes off on the weirdest tangents and Brian has to keep correcting him and all this kind of stuff. And I absolutely love it. Like when he talks about Manscaped and all this, shave your balls, you're going to get your dick sucked tonight and all this kind of stuff, brother. Honestly, like he's the only person I don't turn the video off when he goes
transitions into ads.
Yeah, because it's funny.
I love it. Jim Cornette is just the best.
Yep.
He is the fucking best.
He's awesome. I don't agree with everything, but I don't have to. I like hearing his opinion
Yep.
on things, and it's just that he's funny, and Brian Last is just funny as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't have to agree with him. I just laugh, at some of the shit they say, especially if they do their John Moxley. Yeah.
Yeah. Badass. Please like me.
So speaking of wrestling, this is a great. Some of the transitions today have been seamless.
Seamless.
WWE 2K24 has.
Oh, I gotta talk about this.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me
Yep.
just show some of the images that they teased.
Please, can you show me
And-
the images or trailer, please?
There's no trailer, just
Mm.
images.
Just images.
There's more, but I'll just show these two.
TLD's got a question here. Yeah, most definitely. Tell some people.
Yes, HelloFresh. I refuse to buy HelloFresh because of the fucking advertising.
TLD, I used to be a big avid watcher of Arsenal Fan TV, and I'll get really upset that Robbie Lyle from Arsenal Fan TV would constantly be like promoting stuff, which is also to do with gambling as well. Considering, even though there's a lot of children who watch his shit, and he should know better not to promote advertising for gambling, but he does. But still, they're always promoting stuff like Boohoo Man and Manscaped. I do use a bowl trimmer, by the way, but I don't use Manscaped. I got the one I use is fucking fantastic. I forgot what it's called though, but regardless, it's really good. It doesn't fucking clip your nuts or anything like that. I'm like fucking like going all over my, I'm fucking, scraping the fucking walls. I'm scraping it like that with it, man. Like really getting in there. I grab my nutsack, I grab my nutsack and stretch it like that, like I'm about to pull it over my fucking head. You know what I mean? And then just get the fucking thing. There you go.
Manscaped, you should be sponsoring us. Just get banned to show you demonstration.
No, I wouldn't use Manscaped because I've heard Manscaped clips your fucking nuts, but the ones I use are really good, and they don't. So I recommend. I would recommend them. But yeah, TLD regarding advertising, anything AFT advertised, I never fucking buy. Fuck that shit.
Johnson making sure. Yes, you should. How I treat your balls, Zam style.
And then say goodbye to the fucking YouTube channel.
For me,
that'd be it.
TLD, for me, the only thing is I lose a lot of respect for people that don't research the companies they're sponsored by. Now, if they're your standard shitty corporation, that's fine. Take their money. But Boohoo Man really bugs me because Boohoo Man is they treat their workers so badly. They have sweatshops. I mean, they got raided in Leicester, but they're still doing it abroad. They're still using sweatshops and all this kind of shit. So that kind of company, El Toro, who are a bunch of Zionist pricks who actively pressured channels like AFTV to kind of shut people like Mo up and all this kind of stuff. And they'll pressure any kind of person that's trying to show support for Palestinians. So things like that, I don't have respect, but I don't follow AFTV anyway. Because
it's funny because just as we're getting a tiny bit political, like when the Ukraine-Russia war, AFT were doing lots of shit to basically stand by Ukraine. They did special charity events and stuff like that, but obviously they're not doing the same for Palestine. And obviously what they did with Mohammed when they kicked him off the channel because he just wore a shirt which said "Free Palestine" on it. A tiny little badge. No, not even "Free Palestine." They just said Palestine on it, and apparently that's being fucking what's the word? Political. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're idiots. And they were allowing people to take a knee for BLM and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't talk about Palestine. So fuck Robbie Lowe. He's a complete cuck. I've got no respect for the man.
That
at
like
all.
a very edible. Talking about Arsenal, the Arsenal TV channel.
Yeah, remember this one.
I mean, look,
established titles.
Yeah, like I think it's like I'm all good with like stuff like BLM and stuff like that, but then they themselves they don't stand by the people who are oppressed in every department. So when the Palestinians are oppressed, you should stand by them too, and that's what pisses me off. And then you got people like Ty who are constantly missing BLM and everything he fucking does. It kind of makes it like less. It makes it what's the word? I can't even think of the word right now. But if you mention it all the fucking time, then people don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, but he's diluting it. He's diluting it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Fuck you want Robbie to do? Just allow Mo. Mo didn't even talk about Palestine. All he did was just
wear a
have
shirt
the
with
t-shirt
Palestine
on.
in it.
Use your fucking brain and don't don't favor one over the other. That's what. So yeah, fuck Robbie Law. Hey, you got a friend here. All right, guys. People pop.
Do you know that person?
Equals by lot. Yeah, so the charity that obviously ran BLM were corrupt idiots. But it still doesn't take away from the movement, because what the people in the upper heads done, they've been, kicked out and chastised by the main movement down the grounds. And it's a tragedy because it took away from the grassroots movement. But yeah, fuck those guys. But still, obviously, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. I'm a racist, but you know what I mean? In the context of Palestinians and
exactly. Yeah,
everyone.
Because, because you don't hear the All Lives Matter fucking dickheads going on about the fucking Palestinians who are being slaughtered by their thousands. They're not going on about them whatsoever. When there are people being killed in the press, All Lives Matter seems to be very fucking quiet. The only time they fucking sprout out of the fucking woodwork is when black people are saying, you know what, our fucking lives matter as well. And that's the only time you hear All Lives Matter come out. And the funny thing is, Black Lives Matter.
It wasn't a scam from the start. The movement was justified, but the charity that ended up helping with the funds was a scam. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've driven past Black Lives Matter protests in my cab. And they are the most multicultural group of people you'll come across. It's not just black people. There's all types of people in there. I've also driven past white All Lives Matter people in my cab. And I actually clocked off work early because I didn't want one of these fucking racist cunts jumping in my cab asking me for a lift back to Canby fucking Island after they finished protesting. So and the All Lives Matter will just basically it was so fucking white. I had to wear my fucking shades, but I was getting fucking blinded by their fucking lack of melanin. You know what I mean? So
right, but I actually went to a Black Lives Matter march, and it was fine. They actually had some really good stuff. They had
it's multicultural. They would accept you. You know what I mean? But you won't see people like me or black people in All Lives Matter groups.
Your bird just flew out.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Right, okay, let's go back onto gaming now because fucking always political tangents and it frustrates me. But I'm just as guilty. So, all right. So WWE 2K24 teased these images.
How bad is it going to
be? Dead within a month.
I mean, look, the first image was the Undertaker. So is he going to be on the cover? Are they going to bring casket
showcase? Showcase.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
so he was his first game, which was the Survivor Series, and it's going to be like against Yokozuna and then the Streak probably.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Lord forbid we get another game mode like casket mode. That would be
amazing.
Asking too much from these lazy pricks. Right, let's see. So share screen. And then they drop this one in. Now, does this mean you're going to be able to do special guest referees?
Please.
If so, that shit will be dead like from an offline perspective real quick. Online is where the fun is going to be in that mode.
Yeah.
Just people fucking each other over.
You're a trolling dickhead.
Yeah, just do the same man. 1,
2. Yeah, and then when someone else tries to cover 1, 2, be like, hey, motherfucker, stop that shit.
Just like the old games, just like the old PlayStation games.
Yep.
Where you could do guest referee and you just troll your mates and then just start beating the shit out of them as well. And then they dropped also this teaser here. This thing is so annoying at sharing screens. Yeah. Oh, no way, that's Shazam on the toilet. Never mind. That was it. They dropped those images. I think they dropped Bianca Belair with wearing rings, WWE. So I don't know, but I'm not excited for this fucking game. It's just
I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, if you guys saw my video that I uploaded, I basically said it's going to be the exact same shit. It really is. It's not going to be anything different. You're going to be spending $130 here in the States to get the fucking game, and it'll be dead within a couple months.
$130.
Yeah, because if you get the Ultimate Edition, that's what it is after taxes. It's around 130.
That's for Ultimate Edition, though. That's if you want
everything.
Let's be honest. The majority of people, apart from Wales and Hosea, buy the game for the creation aspect of it. The
Like
creator
how bizarre
superstar.
is the creator wrestler I can make?
It's the best, but it's the best part of the game. It's creator superstar. It's the best part of the game. It's why people buy it.
Yep, Creator Wrestler is the one. The community creations is the reason why people buy the games every year. That's it.
Yeah, it's 100% the best part of the game. It's why AEW Fight Forever flopped, because the creation part of it was bombed shit.
Yeah,
you know, people can excuse a bad game, but the creator superstar was bare bones in it. So that's why a lot of people
I think what Fight Forever tried to bring back the No Mercy, WCW, NWL for that era.
Yeah.
But it failed so hard in doing so, and then the creator wrestler was pants.
Yeah, if this was 10 years ago, Fight Forever would have been hailed as one of the returns to the old school, but now it's just like, dude, this is a sad fucking attempt. And then what's even sadder is that they re-released it at $90 with both season passes. That's what makes this even sadder.
Yeah, I've not even bought it. I've not even bought it yet, and it should be right up my alley. I want a wrestling game that's good for once.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
You're going to get bored of it within a couple hours.
There's two people on Twitch that I follow. I don't follow many people on Twitch, but there's two people on Twitch that I follow. One is Kim Justice, who does like some of the best video documentaries on YouTube about like games industry and games and all this kind of stuff. She's amazing, but also her Twitch channel is hilarious because she plays like old school games, but her WWE sessions consist of like, you know, British greats like Rick and Aid and Giant Haystacks and Mr. Blobby and all this kind of weird shit, and it's hilarious to watch. And same with Reckless Eating, also an American channel, and he does like the most random creative superstar stuff, and that's the best part of the game to watch. But to play the game, it's too many buttons to do too many things, and it's just like, just simplify it.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I fucking hate when they went realistic too with these wrestling games. I hate that they started adding like this realism shit. I'm like, it's not realistic. Wrestling has never been realistic. It's never going to be realistic. Make it over the top and fun. That's what people want.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I just want to go to Rick B here. So, yeah, I mean, I hail her documentaries as the best gaming documentaries I've ever seen. They are spectacular. So if you go watch them, all her stuff is amazing. But her Twitch channel is hilarious. She has got such a potty mouth, like absolute fucking just constantly swearing, constantly like and it's just a good laugh, good atmosphere. So I recommend that.
But yeah, with WWE 2K24, don't fall for it, y'all, because here we go. What you idiots are gonna do? You're gonna fall for screenshots, trailers, paintings, all that bullshit. Get yourselves hyped up. Y'all are gonna be like, it's gonna be the best game ever, man, because we hear this every year, and then it dies within 2 months. That's exactly what's gonna happen with 2K24.
Or you could pay £4 for a subscription and go watch people who actually want to watch wrestling, which is my school, do their shit.
There you go.
There you go. That's free promotion for you.
Hey, lovely. All right. So I'm just gonna send Christina an invite now because we are pretty much done with gaming, unless you lot have.
No, we got to move on to wrestling because there's a couple things to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go, Jose. All yours,
all right,
baby.
Well, y'all, the world title picture looks to be fucked because Seth Rollins has a torn MCL and a partially torn meniscus.
Oh, that's him out for a good 9 months then.
Yep, against his match with Jinder Mahal this past Monday on Raw. He tore himself up, so he's going to be addressing his world title situation on Monday, which means that if I were WWE, the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be taking place at the Royal Rumble for the fucking belt. That's what I would do. If I got to call an audible, I'm making the world title belt the main event at the Rumble for the fucking thing. That's what
So
I'm going to
whoever
do.
wins the Rumble gets the belt.
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Genius.
what they used to do like in the early 90s, basically.
Yep. Do what they did.
Love
Have
it.
Flair. Like how Flair won it, it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
I know DiBiase won it, and I think how a couple of people won it.
Yeah. I want that. I want that so badly. Get on it. Get messaging. Start messaging everyone.
Yep.
Tell them to do that because I think that's
And
awesome. And let LA Knight win it.
Yep. And the second piece of news, New Japan once again gets kicked in the dick because Okada is now leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, which means he could sign with either WWE or AEW. And Okada has always wanted to wrestle at a WrestleMania. So Shawn Michaels and Triple H are playing hardball right now to try to get him. But Tony Khan is also playing hard to get Kazuchika Okada. And this could be fucking good if either one gets him, but just don't fuck it up.
He should go to WWE. He'd stand out more there.
Yep.
He'd stand out more there. You know, they don't have many Japanese male wrestlers there. And so to get someone of his caliber as well.
No, it'd be the worst.
Yeah.
It'd be the worst mistake he could ever make.
Go to WWE, you think?
Go to WWE would be the worst mistake he could ever make. I'm telling you that.
Not really, because not when Triple H and Shawn Michaels are really big on him.
There's one counter there, and it's Shinsuke Nakamura. Look what they did to him. He was like the most charismatic, flaming, awesome wrestling flame in New Japan.
Yeah. Who did that to him?
Vince McMahon.
Exactly. Where's Vince
Exactly.
McMahon? He's not there anymore.
No.
Yep.
Exactly. Well done. Congratulations. You put two and two together. So that's why. And we're talking Triple H and Shawn Michaels want him there.
Yeah,
So he
they're
should go there. Because AEW, he's just going to get fucking shit booking, get lost in the mix, and
or not even booked. Yeah.
Or not even booked.
Yep.
You know, it's not worth going to AEW at this moment for any wrestler.
Mm-mm.
You go to TNA, you go to WWE, because there you get booked properly.
So
you know,
you'd say
AEW
that
is third rate.
So you'd say that so let's say for example you're an independent wrestler, try and make it. You'd say don't go to AEW because they pay you a lot more
that's
than
different.
price.
That's different. If you're a wrestler, a well-known wrestler, kind of in demand, don't go to AEW. If you're an indie wrestler, you're gonna go where your mill is. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But if you've got a choice, take WWE or take TNA because everyone gets lost in the mix in AEW. It's just so badly booked. I haven't seen booking this bad since Vince McMahon in the fucking 2000s.
Yep.
It's even worse than that. It just tells you everything. So it just
Yeah.
Oh,
If I'm okay,
I'll bring you in, Zam.
Yep.
Where are we?
We're talking about wrestling now.
Talking about wrestling.
Just to get you caught up, Seth Rollins tore his MCL and partially his meniscus, so he's going to be on Raw Monday to address the status of the world title. He's probably going to be out for a bit, maybe missing WrestleMania. And my idea is to have the Royal Rumble match for the World Heavyweight title at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
As a fucking audible. That's at least what I would do.
But then, how do you have what about Challenger for WrestleMania? How does that all that? Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, they could do it in the chamber. They've done it before. They could do it again.
I'd have a chamber for it. So if who would you like to see be? So I'd love to see the champion be LA Knight. Because they're not going to take the belt off Reigns at this point, and
no,
they're probably going to have Reigns Rock probably.
I really think they're going to make him break Hogan's record.
Yeah, because they're talking about in the third piece of news, since this is all related, they're talking about having Roman face either The Rock or Cody or both. I don't care either fucking way. I don't want The Rock coming back. I agree with you guys when you guys said it's time for Dwayne Johnson to go the fuck away. I feel that way about The Rock and wrestling. I'm like, dude, your time is up. It's over.
At the same time, I don't want this like pre-scheduled. Okay, it's gonna be Cody's time to win it. You know, I don't want this so predetermined, so obvious. You know, like okay, this is how we're doing things.
Yeah.
If he did face The Rock, I would want Roman Reigns to win, obviously.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't want a part-timer like Rock to be in there. But then once again, we're in a predicament now where Roman's beating everybody that he's got no more fucking challenges left. which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they'll do about that. Regarding Seth Rollins, he's going to be out for how long?
They haven't said yet. They haven't said yet, but he's going to be on Raw Monday talking about like what his status is, and I'm thinking he'll probably be missing WrestleMania season because the torn MCL is no joke. You fuck up your MCL and you fuck up your meniscus. Shawn Michaels did that shit, and he was out for like 4 months. So Seth Rollins,
ligament damage is not to be fucked with.
Yeah,
and I can imagine him coming back like on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that'll be like ideal, which is someone like him. But still, that's only 3 months away, so he'll need longer than that. Maybe SummerSlam. I don't know, but
yeah. If I'm WWE, I'm calling an audible and probably having like maybe Gunther be that dude because like I'm championing for Gunther to win the world title at some point. So I'm like, why not now? He could say, you know what, fuck this. I don't need the Intercontinental title anymore. I can forfeit this fucking thing. I got what I want, and that's at least what I would do. I would give it to Gunther if it was me.
What the Rumble win and the title?
Yep,
mate. Why not? I don't care as long as it isn't any prick like Randy Orton or anything like that. Just give it LA Knight, not CM Punk because I want him to have his WrestleMania.
I think with Randy Orton's is in that nostalgic phase now, and people are really rooting for him. And I think people would back at Orton for another championship run.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
He's the hottest. He's the hottest I've ever known him to be now. Actually, people love Randy Orton right now.
And then they're talking about. And then John Cena's also talking about like, hey, yo, I don't have that much time left in WWE. So people are championing for John Cena to fight Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the belt. And I'm like, nah, if this was 10 years ago.
For the belt.
Even 10 years ago. Even 10 years ago, no. Maybe 15 years ago, yes.
Yeah, but 15 years ago when it was still kind of new, they could have done it then.
I don't mind. I don't mind them two fighting because it takes them out of other matches. Like put them together. Yeah, let them fight.
Have a match, main event. Not for the title.
Yeah.
No, not the title. No way. Yeah.
Yep.
So and maybe, just maybe, you could bring Cena back as a heel. You know what I mean?
Nah, they respect him too much now for that. They're not going to go for it.
I don't know. It could work against Randy Orton.
Yeah, it could.
People just love Randy Orton because he's got such a no fucks given attitude now.
Yep.
He's in the phase of I don't care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Fire me because I could go the fuck away and be set for life.
Yeah. He just laughs and interacts better with the audience.
See, there is a heel to a lot of people, even though he acts like a baby face.
Yeah.
But for him to, if he did become a fucking heel, he'll probably get cheers to the fucking rafters.
Yeah, Cena's been a heel. Cena's been a heel for 20 years in my mind, so this would be a face turn. That's how I look at it. Yeah,
that's a good point.
I'm like, this motherfucker's overdue for a face turn because he's been Mr. Corporate for way too fucking long.
Yep, absolutely.
Have you guys talked about Nick Nemeth being on TNA?
No, Ziggy. Yeah, good to see Ziggy over there.
Look, first of all, how stupid do you have to be to call a pay-per-view hard to kill? Like, don't put the word "kill" in your pay-per-views. I mean, it just sounds a bit wrong.
It goes with the territory of what
it goes with them surviving against cockroaches and nuclear bombings and shit. That's why they named it that, because they're still going to be
the only three left: cockroaches, TNA, and fucking Donald Trump.
I'm actually hoping for this to be like the revival of TNA. Hopefully, I think first of all, it was a good move for Nemeth to go to TNA, considering everybody's in AEW, and I think AEW stock has fallen more than it's ever fallen since it's in conception.
So,
I think that was a good move. He someone like Nick will put TNA more on the map for a start. He'll be more of a main eventer there than he ever was in the WWE. So yeah, I think it was a good move for him. In my
it's
opinion.
the second coming of TNA now this year.
And you want to know what?
I watched a lot more TNA last year than I did AEW and WWE. It was awesome. Same with the MLW, which is underrated.
Yeah, I mean,
small roster, good fun.
Yeah, Hard to Kill was an awesome pay-per-view.
It was.
And you want to know what? wanna know-
Hammerstone Alexander was fucking great. The only little bit that I didn't like was the fact that they have a rip-off character with flaming Ash buying confidence or what her name is, flaming Dana Brooke.
They've been doing rip-off characters for years, man, with Jay Lethal, mate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
No, but
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
blatant.
just look at fucking Abyss as well. That was like their
Yep.
crap version of Mankind. Hi, Christine.
Yeah.
Hey.
Welcome.
this,
Just
Yeah,
finishing up
fucking-
talking about wrestling, and then we'll move on to the other stuff.
yeah, Shark Boy.
But here's the
I
funny
just-
thing.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
friend just texted asking where this was, like literally as I came on. So I'm gonna just mute and put my cam off for a second, go contact him so he can watch. Okay.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay,
Yeah, send him a link.
no problem.
Okay, so what I was saying, you want to know the crazy thing? Now the real wrestling war begins, not between WWE and AEW, but between AEW and TNA. Who's going to be the real alternative? That actually has me kind of excited because now AEW has to fight with TNA for that number 2 spot because nobody's going to beat WWE. WWE is the big
Yeah.
kid on the block now that you don't fuck with. They're untouchable. AEW and TNA are going to be the companies that people need to be keeping an eye on as to like who's
Well,
going to do what.
Well,
The
Rick,
best thing that happened
you're
to-
in the comments. You're a big AEW fan. What are your thoughts? Because
Well,
I mean,
and-
we have to be honest with where AEW is at.
And
Yeah,
the best thing that happened to WWE was the departure of Vince McMahon because it's given it that refresh factor that WWE so desperately needed because it was going through a fucking stale momentum for a long time. So alternatives were highly appreciated, but now with new leadership at the helm and new visions, it's changed in its own right, being the big dog that's changed within itself. So people are still sticking with it, and plus their production values have always something that I've actually always highly valued within WWE. Have always been far superior than AEW and obviously TNA, but AEW especially. There's times when I'm watching AEW and I think to myself, this is really shit production value you got here. I feel like I'm watching a crappy indie show.
that's
And,
because
yeah,
it is an indie show.
Yeah,
Yeah, but not with that.
It's an
fucking
indie
budget.
show with a WWE budget. Yeah,
But I don't look at it
I-
like that. It took all the belt. It took all the, when you can host a show. Listen. When you can host a show in fucking Wembley Stadium, you're not an indie show. You know what I mean? You know, so
it's
But
it's
that
a
really-
glorified indie show. I'm
Yeah.
but they still put all the bells and whistles out, like their WWE, but they just don't do it as well as WWE. So the production value is something I've always appreciated, and more so than ever now after watching AEW. TNA I always knew was a bit different because they always were smaller, so I never put too much pressure on them. But I always thought AEW would give better production value than they do.
Did you
Yeah,
see
I mean,
that?
TNA could have been better if Christine Carter. I was going to say just saw Christine Dixie Carter wasn't such a moron. You know?
Hello?
Sorry, Chris. 1 sec.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey,
We
could you
can
see
hear.
the snow there
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
against my hand and how tall it was?
yeah,
Yep.
that was Big Daddy.
Like that 8 inches.
Yeah. What about the snow, Zam?
Look
at
that. 8 inches
Pretty
of snow.
rad, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going inside.
Yep.
Go on.
Y'all can have all that in Canada because we don't need that shit here. Keep that up there. Keep that in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this year may be a big year for AEW because they've got Will Ospreay coming onto their roster full time, and he's an impressive athlete. I know that there's certain people, Shredder, who don't like him as a professional wrestler, but I think Ospreay is an amazing athlete. I think he's like an AJ Styles almost. So
Yeah,
that could be the wow factor that they need. Right.
He's going to get lost in the mix. Now with no Kenny Omega for the foreseeable future,
Yep.
that's a bit of a loss there.
Yeah,
But
this AEW be
I
punching
mean,
down if they acknowledge TNA as a competition. I don't think so.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
we'll see. Like this year, TNA is. I suspect they're going to have some good
Yeah,
growth.
but-
They're not going to
but-
reach like
but the
massive
thing with
viewer
TNA,
numbers.
TNA and AEW, what they do a lot is they both acknowledge WWE. I'm not sure if TNA still does that, but I mean, they did
Yes,
kind of do that. They did that obviously with that Nick Nemeth promo with
Mhm.
that dude who called him a shitty version of Dolph Ziggler at the end. So they acknowledge the WWE aspect there. But AEW constantly fucking acknowledges
What's going on?
WWE. And TNA and WWE doesn't
Talking
acknowledge
wrestling
them.
at the moment, then we'll move on to
Okay.
the other stuff.
Yeah, talking wrestling. they should just do what WWE does and just not acknowledge them. You know, that's the best thing to do.
Yep.
Just focus on your own shit.
Well, I mean,
I can't hear
can't make
anyone.
sure nobody acknowledges AEW once they leave the company by making them sign an NDA. So there is
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Check your shit.
What? Can you not hear us? What?
What?
She can't hear us.
Can you hear us, Christine?
Yes, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right then.
Yep.
Well, that's
Yep.
is that everything for wrestling.
Yep.
All right, sweet. Jose, it's up to you if you want to stay or not. We're going to jump into politics.
Can't
And all
hear
that.
I'm gonna dip.
Can hear
So I'll
Josh.
see y'all later. Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, see you, Jose. Lovely having you, mate.
See y'all later. All right.
All right.
Later.
All right. So I want to show you guys something. 1 second. Let me see if I can find
Better
it.
not be a Willy.
No. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Oh, this is really good. I think we'll start off with
Eat my
good
dinner.
old Nikki Haley. Yeah, let me just quickly share this. This
You
is
running
the
this one,
beauty.
Gaz?
Who? What? No, this is Sam. Sam's doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing this one. So this is to do with Nikki Haley, the lovely Nikki Haley, who a little compilation of this video, which I want you guys to check out. Here we go.
Racist party?
No.
Wait, Sam, pause it. Christine, what you eating? Important questions. Can you hear us, Christine?
Christine.
I don't think she can hear us. Can you hear us? No. Reese, I don't know if she can hear us or not. No, she can't hear us.
Christine.
Reset. Go and come back in.
Maybe type it to I'll check it.
Yeah. Can you hear us
Gaz,
now?
I can only hear you.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
the rest of them are saying to reset, Christine, to go.
Okay,
back
I'll
in
go
and-
out, come back.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So wait for it to come back, Sam, before playing that clip.
Okay.
Okay, so who is this lady anyway? Before to give me
She's
some
one of
context.
the dumb fucks who wants to be the Republican nominee for president of the United States. Her name is
Donald
Nikki
Trump.
Haley. Her name is Nikki Haley. And her name is not really Nikki Haley because you know how it is. You know, I mean, she's obviously tried
Fuck
to
you,
make people.
Cheeky bastard.
I love you, Vance, by the way. Thank you for batting for me.
Oh, there you go.
She's
You've got
actually-
a friend for life now.
Haley's real name. Let me just get that right. Haley's
Is- is
real
it like-
Nirvata. Her real name is something like that. Nirvata.
Her real name is her real name is Nimarata Randahawa. Yeah, that's her real name. Nimarata Randahawa. That sounds almost Sri Lankan-y, but regardless,
She's
there's no
Indian.
way she would. No way with that fucking skin tone is she fucking Sri Lankan. But regardless, she is anglified herself by calling herself Nikki Haley. So yeah. Maybe his cousin Cheeto with his fucking whiny fucking boomer fucking mentality. You know. Come on, Chris, hurry the fuck up. I gotta leave soon.
Oh, just start it. Don't worry.
Go on,
Yeah.
let's hear what Nikki Haley has to say.
Okay.
Were you involved in a racist party?
No, we're not a racist country, Brian. I was a brown girl in a black and white world. We faced discrimination and hardship. We've never been a racist country. Dad and I stopped by the local produce market. As he was putting his produce in his basket, I noticed something start to happen. The couple working at the market was
Can you hear us
getting
now,
nervous.
Christine?
They were whispering.
Yep, thanks.
Oh fuck! I'll start again.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the fucking thing? All right, Chris. This is Nikki Haley talking about how America is not a racist country, far as she's concerned, growing up in America. Here we go.
And then they got on the phone.
Oh no! Why is it not starting
A
again?
few minutes later,
Go to drag it.
Okay, here we go.
Were you involved in a racist party?
no, we're not a racist country, Brian. I was a brown girl in a black and white world. We face discrimination and hardship. We've never been a racist country. Dad and I stopped by the local produce market. As he was putting his produce in his basket, I noticed something start to happen. The couple working at the market was getting nervous. They were whispering, and then they got on the phone. A few minutes later, 2 uniformed police officers showed up. And take it from me, the first minority female governor in history, America is not a racist country. At Thanksgiving, someone had the bright idea to give me the role of Pocahontas in the school play. Did they realize I wasn't that kind of Indian? America is not a racist country. We were the only Indian family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown. I was disqualified from a beauty pageant because I wasn't white
This is
or
January
black,
5th,
because they didn't know where
2024.
to put me. We've never been a racist country.
And 9 days later, we've never been a racist country. I mean,
Alex?
if
Alex, I'll take bullshit for 3,000.
Christian, what you eating?
Cheese. Deep fried cheese thingies.
Nice. Anyway, when there's food on the screen, gotta know what it is. You know me. But yeah, I mean, this was Nikki Haley. I saw like her stupid speeches earlier saying that America's never been a racist country. I mean, that's just like saying I've never been fat. You know, it's just fucking ridiculous. The kind of like how stupid, how like just devoid of any kind of heart or brain or care in the world are you to just make such a claim like that, despite the fact that you yourself have suffered abuse over the years? You know, if it's even true,
If she
might be
did.
a fucking
If
liar.
she even did.
Yeah, if she even did.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know.
when Boris Johnson said, like, windmills won't blow the skin off of pudding or whatever it was. And he said, I remember when people thought windmills wouldn't even blow the skin off one of those desserts. And then they showed him saying the exact same thing 20 years ago when he said, they won't even do that. Do you not remember your own words?
Yeah, exactly. They just, you know, they want their little sound bites that people can use.
Yeah, but you got to remember that she's now speaking to an audience who doesn't want to accept that America has things in its social past that are socially bad. Like, for example, the fact
social
that
present, dude, let alone the past. They still got the Ku Klux Klan.
I mean, like for example, they don't like teaching about slavery, or if you even bring it up, it's like, oh, you're always living in the past by bringing up slavery. It's like, no,
or it's not even slavery; it was indentured servants.
These motherfuckers love talking about the past, though. But that's the crazy thing. They want to go on about their history and the Revolutionary War and how they won their freedom and their fucking Abraham Lincoln and their George Washington and all this shit. You know what I mean? The Gerald Ford and the fucking JFK and all their bollocks. They love talking about the fucking past, but when it comes to some of their past, which is, you know, which is not as glamorous, which needs to be spoken about, they have an issue with it. Fucking dickheads.
Yeah. And or they'll twist it, like I said, Gas. Instead of calling it slavery, now they're calling it indentured servitude or volunteered or did it because the plantation owners were kind enough to provide food and accommodations.
And they
those
learned
20
great skills.
lashes.
Yeah, they learned great skills that they were able to use because they had no other rights, and those skills had to still be maintained within their fucking parameters of whoever owned them. It's just the level of stupidity. Of course, let's be perfectly honest here. This is not unique to America. Every country does this. Every country never wants to acknowledge its shitty past and its atrocities. Britain is no different with colonial period. Japan is no different with the Japanese Empire and the atrocities they caused. Israel is no different to what it's doing now. You know, Turkey, prime example, never wants to acknowledge its genocide that it did against the Greeks and the Armenians. Every country is the same, you know. So they're not unique in that regard. It's just that all right wingers are just absolutely ridiculous. They're rah-rah about their history, but their history is shitty. And when you point out that their history is shitty, they're like, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, you're lying.
only-
You're a commie.
The only one good thing the Canadian government did in a case like this, Justin Trudeau, I mean, the thing that happened was horrible, but he did acknowledge and apologize for the schools that the natives were forced into, the cutting of their hair, the forced conversions, the torture, the child abuse, the sexual assaults by priests, the murders in some cases. I mean, they found bodies at these old missionary schools that they were forced to go to, ripped from their homes. They found 50, 70 bodies just buried on the property like nothing. Kids' bodies.
And that's ones that they know of. You know, there's probably hundreds more that they're not aware of. So yeah, like the native treatment, Canada, Australia as well, like what the Australians did to the Aborigines. It's all just fucking like people don't want to acknowledge it. And like I said, Trudeau was the first one to kind of acknowledge it. What happened? Not that he's still not very good with the natives, because when it comes to that oil, baby, he's gonna step all over those poor people.
Yep.
He doesn't give a fuck. So yeah.
It was lip service, but at least when he did say it, he didn't cover what he said. And I'm not trying to defend him in any way.
No.
But I was shocked that a government even did that. And again, it was for alternate arterial motives. Like
ulterior motives, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, the liberal pats on the back, you know, the woke pats on the back that he can get while he's fucking the country environmentally. So indentured servants did start out as white people before slavery. It doesn't matter. What is this weird justification? Slaves are slaves. It doesn't matter that they were fucking black. They were slaves. You know, I talk about, and what a lot of people on my side don't talk about, I talk about the massive slave trade that the Arabs had as well during the high period of the caliphate and all this kind of shit. All right, slavery is fucking slavery.
And I hate when people try and compare or flop it off when they say what the Irish did with the 7 years, 14 years indentured servitude. It's not the fucking same thing. Yes, that was horrible too, but it's not the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing. But slavery, slavery. It doesn't matter. Like if it was a history of of Irish people that were taken from the land and treated as slaves, because that also did happen, not just indentured servitude. Some of them were slaves as well. All right. We'd be talking about the atrocities of slavery, regardless of skin color. But because it's skin color, white people just want to do all this fucking stupid whataboutism. And it's like, no, just acknowledge what you did and shut the fuck up about it. You acknowledge what you did.
It's not even what you did. What your ancestors fucking did. It's not even
what your ancestors did. Again, your ancestors, you weren't there. You didn't do this. You could say, but those people were dickheads. You know, Greeks were fucking slaves as well. Greeks were slaves under the Ottoman Empire. And unless they converted to Islam, they were either used as slaves or they were second-class citizens.
Morocco used to sail up along the coast of the UK and take slaves. People from the Morocco area, like I don't know what it was called back in the day, but in Spain, they go and get slaves.
Oh, the Mediterranean, you mean?
Yeah, through the Mediterranean and up the west coast of the UK, they would go along, pick up Irish and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing is that the reason that we say, oh, you got to knowledge this is because to get to a better place, we've got to understand that there are still some, what's the word, vestiges of that, some still repercussions of that still happening today. That still, like for example, a lot more people are undereducated in very impoverished area, and they're not there by choice. They're there because that is a direct, what's the word, consequence of slavery. Because they were put into really poor society. It's like you could be free, or you could be slaves with us, or you could be free in these really shitty poor areas. That is a consequence of slavery. It has an outcome today. That's why a lot of kids go into flaming gangs, because the only way they can have any sort of wealth, health equality and stuff like that, because crime is the only way they could get any sort of wealth in that community, unless they happen to be a rapper or something like that. And the chance of being that is like 10% or something like that. So like, no wonder they go into crime.
And then the results and the steps after what happened after slavery in the United States was, the redlining, black
13th
and
Amendment,
white, separate everything.
Jim Crow,
Yeah, Jim Crow. That was the word I was trying to look for. Thanks, Ginger.
Yeah. redlining,
yeah.
Jim Crow, 13th Amendment. They fucked the black community every which way they could. And people don't even talk about what happened in Tulsa in the 1920s, where they
The
fucking
riots.
bombed. Yeah. The Tulsa riots, where they bombed, wasn't riots, it was a massacre. They bombed the
Oh,
fucking
sorry.
city.
You're right. Sorry.
And Philadelphia in the 1980s. And how many, again, what the Americans don't understand is that, a lot of the black movement were very socialist because they understood the struggle.
And they needed to help each other because they weren't getting help from anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. But the FBI and the CIA made sure that didn't happen. None of that community shit happened. They went in, they flooded it with drugs. They flat out murdered people that they suspected were socialists as well. They absolutely decimated. And this is the stuff people don't know about. They just look at 1982 or 1 Philadelphia bombings and all this kind of shit.
And like you said, Tulsa was a thriving black community. They had their own stock market. There were stores, whole community just thriving, and the white people didn't like it.
Black Wall Street. Yeah. It was the Black Wall Street. It was one of the most richest neighborhood areas, and white people made up some shit, went in, devastated it, and it never recovered. And after then, a lot of they just all throughout. It's the same equivalent of saying, socialism has failed around the world. Well, of course it has, because the Americans went into every single country and deposed every democratically elected leader, not just in South America, but in Africa too. And then people have the cheek to say, oh, well, black people are just lazy. Black people don't want to work. No.
Every black person I know wants to work and does work. So,
yeah, I mean, every there's no different. Like, what can I say in terms of the work ethic? If I was to tell you the work ethic from where I live, the English have the worst work ethic of everyone I've ever worked with. No
I hate
offense,
to say it, but
they complain all the time, and if it's 5% out of their job description, they're not going to do it. Whereas, like, an African, it just be like, yeah, fuck up, whatever, I'll do it. I don't care. Yeah, I'll do it.
And I don't know if I'm getting this wrong, but what pops into my mind is the word chavs.
Yeah.
Full of them.
And not acknowledging the past helps with the healing today, I think.
Agreed.
A comment here by TLD. I was just saying this is phase 1 of American oppression. We shift that every few years, different races throughout the years. But you mentioned servants. You know what servants are? They're people who get paid. Slaves don't. And slaves don't fucking have freedom. Like the servants can quit their fucking job. They can quit their fucking job and move on to somewhere else. A slave doesn't. They're stuck with their fucking master. They have no freedom whatsoever.
Servitude was basically, if you'd committed a crime or something like that, you were tied down for a period of time. But then you were free afterwards.
Yeah, you were still free. Yeah.
And slaves could have their families broken up and sold to other owners and never know where their children or husband went. They were beaten, sometimes beaten to death. I mean, the original Karen comes from the slave owners' wives. That's the origination of that attitude, that white privilege of women, because they would be jealous of their husbands raping or sleeping with black slaves, beat the children to death if there was a child from the rape. They would punish the women for being raped instead of punishing the husband. And they were called, not Karen, there was another name they gave those type of women. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, that shit still happens in Middle Eastern countries, unfortunately. Sharia law run countries where if a woman is raped, then she is equally as guilty as the man who done it, and sometimes the man who done it doesn't get fuck all happens to him.
Sometimes,
yeah, exactly. Like we're still living in the draconian world, unfortunately, with
Yeah.
stupid, with stupid
I
barbaric
don't get
laws.
this. Sorry, I don't get this comment here, TLD. Black folks are good as long as they are oppressed and you can benefit from helping them. Like,
What does that mean?
I don't get that comment.
Explain
So
it.
please
Explain that.
elaborate, my guy.
Receipts.
You know,
Yeah, 'cause
and again,
and also another thing that we need to address is the fact that there were a lot of black female slaves who were raped by their male masters.
Mate, they were used the fucking milking machines to fucking feed babies. You know, they were the way they were treated was terrible. You know,
I feel like a lot of like black people. They do that "Who Do You Think You Are" program. They did it in America, right? And I think it was I can't remember who the black celebrity was, but they like traced their history back and they found out that one of their ancestors was a white slave owner who'd raped their great grandmother or something like that. It's just like that's a horrible way to find that out.
I really want to get to this point here from TLD. Like TLD, there's countless videos out there on social media of police doing their jobs, and when they do their jobs in America, for instance, the amount of time they fucking immediately look at a black person as a potential criminal, or like maybe they get a radio calling saying that a crime has happened and it was a black person. So the first black person they fucking see, you know, the black person might be bald, but they see a black person with hair. Okay, fine, he's black, he's good enough, regardless of him having hair or not. We'll fucking just take him down because he's black. You know, they immediately generalize. How many times do we see in mass shootings and shit like that, the police bring in the fucking shooter? They don't kill him. They arrest the fucker, take him to Burger King and what fucking not. How many times do we see that shit? It happens a lot. There is a privilege out there which is against fucking people of color versus people who are not. You know, and I hate even using that terminology against ethnic minorities versus people who are not within America. So acknowledge these things because these things are definitely happening. You know, I've experienced bigotry. I know what it's like. You know, less of it nowadays. Fortunately, I live in a very multicultural city, but I have experienced it when it comes to going into fucking America, for fuck's sake. You know, and your time in the United Kingdom, it's not fucking nice. I experienced it when I was in fucking Italy. It's not fucking nice. You know what I mean? From a politician standpoint.
Right. At what point do you draw the line in America, leave behind history, do you keep it? It's not a victimhood. It's
acknowledging
the
history.
Status quo. It's still happening now. Okay. It's the fact that, again, look at the reaction to the BLM movement. Now, we talked about the higher ups that ended up being corrupt because there was no real organizational structure in there. So the people they brought in, you know, were just idiots, corrupt buffoons, took the money and ran. But the core movement, still the same, still out there fighting for the justice. And you can't spend fucking 400 years of your history still to this day oppressing a group. All right. I mean, you've got people out there like what they're talking about with Mexicans now. They said the same shit about black people. All right. You can't be doing it now and then start complaining that, oh, they're just still being the victims. White people have all the privilege in the world in the States. And they're the ones acting bigger victims than the fucking black people. Every time there's a little bit of bullshit, I'm being cancelled. Oh my God, white people are in danger. Oh my God, gay people are coming together. Always the fucking victim. The oppressors, always the fucking victims.
They're the first ones to call liberals snowflakes or cancel culture. But this guy just brought his transgender sibling to some award ceremony. And the right was up in arms about it. They're like, "Oh, that shouldn't be blah blah blah."
Was it Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, his sister.
Yeah, his sister.
Yeah, and they were up in arms. You know, just
who's the real cancel culture?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and the right constantly goes on to about the left being virtual signalers, but I see it all the time from the right. You know, when. During Hunter Biden's fucking own hearing, they were mentioning about how he suffers from white privilege. This is coming from the fucking Republican Party of all fucking people saying that shit. Then you got, you know, within our country on our right wing, they were bragging about how the first, you know, the first female prime ministers have all been Tory, virtual signaling. The first Asian or Indian prime minister, Tory, virtual fucking signaling. You know, they do it.
Or not Gacker, right?
No, Rishi Sunak.
Sunak.
Yeah, Rishi. Yeah,
Sunak.
exactly. You know, and they virtual signal. You know, they do it all the time. I've heard even Nikki Haley in that clip we saw mentioning how she's the first minority female governor of this particular state. Virtual fucking signaling. They want to fucking do it when it works for fucking them. You know, but they hate other fucking people doing it themselves who are on a different political alignment to them. They're cunts.
I've been used like that because I was the first female sergeant in my unit. I wasn't even promoted by that unit. I transferred to another unit, and I was there 3 years, and they promoted me. I got Master Corporal of the Year, and they promoted me to sergeant. And then when I said a couple years later, I'd like to transfer back to my original unit, I feel loyal to them. And they're like, please stay. We'll promote you again. Come on. We'll make you a warrant officer. I'm like, no, I really want to go back to my home unit. I've got troops there. Ask me to come back. They need me. I get back there. The first group meeting, the CO stands up and he's like, look at Sergeant. I was going to say my last name. They're first female sergeant in our unit. I'm like, sir, 709 communication squadron promoted me. I didn't do that, but
I need to quickly comment here. Rigby, I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy, dude. The same way you like to point out hypocrisy on the left, I'm pointing out the hypocrisy on the right. I don't, you know, hatred is there regardless because of a lot of the shit they're doing when it comes to cultural stuff because they're not offering good policies to help regular people. They're too busy shitting on trans people. Yeah, exactly.
All right. But here's the problem. Anytime people talk about reparations, who's the side that bitches about it? The right. It's never the left. We always say they should be given it properly because at the end of the day, they need to be recompensed for the 400-500 years they were working for zero pay. For zero pay, they needed recompense. They built a lot of America, they built a lot of the infrastructure. The bill is past due, and there is no good argument against it. And this whole thing, it's victim mentality. No, the bill is due. We need to pay up. And even that will end in victim mentality. There you go.
Oh yeah,
no, it isn't. Sorry.
Even if they didn't even do that, at least start with, I don't know, treating people equally and stop racial profiling. You know, like, isn't that the least you can fucking do?
Reparations are not a stupid idea. When you create an entire system, that absolutely shot upward mobility of communities, certain communities, then no, reparations is the least they could do. Like Greece is the only fucking country from World War II that never received its reparations from Germany. Everyone else did, but Greece didn't. Why didn't Greece do it? Because there was a threat of them becoming communist. And because they never played along, they never received their reparations. Okay? They're not black. Everyone else got their reparations. Why the fuck didn't Greece get their reparations? All right? Instead, what happened after the war is we got plunged into a civil war and we got fisted every single way from Sunday up until the 1970s by the fucking CIA and the British. All right? And nothing. Greece was left to rot. The only time people paid attention to Greece was when, you know, their own corrupt system came back to bite them on the ass. But nobody paid them any compensation. Everyone else got it, and it should be the same for the black community. When you spend up until today destroying a community, actively destroying a community, then no, your apology to that community should be through monetary gains for that community. I'm sorry, that's just the reality.
And us as white people, we've had generations of accumulated wealth, right? They haven't. So, like, I'm not starting from zero. Yes, I grew up in a middle lower class family. Never felt it though. But I at least knew that I could get a loan, that my parents had at least a little bit of money. They owned a home. You know, there's this accumulated, and generation after generation, the gap gets wider.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's I'm not going to discuss that further because it's stupid little things like that just bug me because it's like people could pick and choose, and yeah. So I'm going on to a new segment that I've created, and let me go here.
And we could go all night on that anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. But we're going on to a new segment.
Elon being dumb this week.
So this is my new segment called Elon being dumb this week. And
awesome.
thank you. Took me eight hours to create, minus 8 hours and 2 minutes basically to create. And this is just, every week, not a week goes by when Elon doesn't say something stupid. And so I've created this segment where we can highlight what stupid thing he said this week. And let me just bring that up.
yay!
And, there we go. Oh, no, wait, that's just a picture of Zam after he's had a shave. Sorry.
Boom.
Actually, that's what your ball looks like after it's been shaved, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're talking
All
about. Just so you haven't missed it, Chris. We were talking about shaving our testicles earlier. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Let's not go off on a tangent again. Right. So somebody said Elon Musk is a fucking Nazi. Catherine Brodsky, help me set an argument. Was Hitler left wing or right wing? Elon Musk, extremely far right regarding nationalism, but very far left regarding socialism.
what does that mean?
Exactly. It doesn't mean anything.
But even if
Regarding
you try,
socialism.
but even if you try to interpret that, you might be suggesting that he was socially giving and cared for his people because of the left part. No.
He didn't do that. He didn't fucking do that. He still transferred all the wealth to private capital.
Right.
He did fuck all. But it's the fact. It's the fact that he just says like far left on socialism. What socialism? What part of it? Like he should have said far left on economic stuff. But no, it's just he just doesn't know anything. He's just a rich cunt, okay, who profited off apartheid. All right, and he's just used that wealth to buy into things, to steal credit for it. I mean, everyone kind of like people
The only
are like,
thing
genius
socialism.
inventor. Like he didn't invent anything, and all these ideas are so fucking stupid.
The only thing socialist about the Nazi Party was part of their name.
Their name, that's it.
Yep.
That was the name. I keep telling right wingers, I go, point me to a socialist policy that they had, because all their policies were very much in line with right wing capitalism. All right, everything. Okay, so
Not
anyway,
even capitalism,
that's your segment.
dictatorship.
Elon Musk being dumb this week.
Rigby loves Elon. I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic or not, but for argument's sake, let's say he isn't. Would you let him put a chip in your head, Rigby? Would you surgically let him do that shit? Because I want to know how much of Elon do you genuinely fucking love? Give it a go. I'd love to see you be that first person to try it, man. Give it a go. You love
Give it a go, mate. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Rigby and Elon Musk. My impersonation of Rigby and Elon Musk.
Getting played, son. We love you. Not really. Yeah. All right. So, speaking of right-wing crybabies, Bill O'Reilly, a man who has helped push so many laws in the country, had one of those laws bite him in the ass. So he has a book coming out.
Yeah.
And in Florida, of all places, where they have mass book banning, because the right are so tolerant of books.
And anti-cancel culture, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So he had one of his books banned in Florida, certain districts in Florida, not the whole of Florida, honestly. But basically, people were able to use his own law against him. And he is, of course, fuming. He's fuming, bruv. Because so the very thing that he helped create has come back to bite him on the ass. And I love it. It's poetic justice. Because, don't forget, the bill that they put in to ban books on Florida cannot specify exactly who they are targeting. It's just the language that contains within the books. So any book that contains that kind of language that they want banned can be banned. In Utah, they managed to ban the Bible.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But you know, this is what I mean with conservatism. They don't understand the consequences of their actions, and when it comes back to bite them on the ass, it's fucking hilarious. And he's melting down. He was having a meltdown, saying, "How dare they do this to me? This is cancel culture. This is your cancel culture. You did this. You helped push this law." So yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised that they, because of how draconian this world is. It's like, we don't care about this rule being applied to Bill O'Reilly. Also, we do care about this rule being applied to Bill O'Reilly because he's one of our own. We only want to apply this rule to anything that we consider to be leftist material. So I'm surprised that his book was banned in the first place, to tell you the truth. I'm really surprised.
Well, again, it only takes a group of people within a district. They don't have to be conservative, just a group of concerned citizens that take issue with the topics within a book to get it banned, because the law is so broad. Because if they wanted to make it about what they really wanted, which was erasing LGBTQ identity and books and all this kind of stuff, the bill will get slapped out because it's not allowed. It's anti-democratic. But because the wording is so vague around it, anyone can use it, and that's what's happening.
Nice.
And so a lot of conservatives have been triggered because a lot of their books have been banned as well. It's like, you can either have it one way or the other. Cry me a fucking river.
I want to really get onto this comment from TLD. I know it's a bit of a tangent here, but I'm not going to read the comment. I'm just going to respond to it. The thing is, TLD, the moment the media starts showing black people as strong, independent, can do what the fuck they want, intelligent people, you know what word comes along? Woke. So you can't fucking win. You're virtual signaling. So you show something like Wakanda Forever and all of that sort of stuff. You show black people as scientists, as really good people. That's the wrong terminology, but members of society who contribute to society. You show them like that. You're not showing them as your stereotype, which some people want them to be seen as. Then you're woke. So how are you supposed to win this fucking battle, TLD? Because if you don't want them to be portrayed as anything but ghetto, then it's woke. So what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't win either way.
I mean, seriously, I've not heard of Bill O'Reilly since he got kicked off his show for being exposed for being a bit of a sexual harasser.
Yeah.
Well, he got kicked off his show for being a sexual harasser, but he has a show somewhere else. I can't remember if he's on One American Network.
But the funny thing is that if somebody now, for instance, Jesse Walters, who's kind of been groomed as the new Tucker Carlson on Fox News, if they found out that he was sexually assaulting someone, they'll back him to the fucking hilt, because it seems that the game has changed now. You know what I mean? To how it once was.
Well, not within Fox, because they still have to adhere to kind of corporate law. That's why behind the scenes they actually partake in a lot of the kind of shit that they complain about, which is to do with bathrooms and mask wearing and getting vaccinated, all this kind of shit. Behind closed doors, they do all that. But they're happy to complain about it in front face because they need to. That's the audience they have. If they start being logical, they're going to lose their audience, because you can't be logical when it comes to reactionary morons who don't know shit about shit. But on the flip side of that, when you give somebody else a platform who's smart, logical, and you already have a group of people that you don't like Jews, for example, then people like Bassem Youssef, who goes on shows like the PBD podcast and all this kind of stuff, they're more likely to listen to them because of the common enemy. But when you strip away the tribalism, what it was with Bassem Youssef, for example, when he was talking about stuff, he was just giving people a history lesson. He was telling the truth. Anyone can go and look it up. You know what I mean? It's not just some idiot parroting the thing. So that's why he's getting a lot of support from the right as well. Because they want that knowledge to kind of throw back at Jews, for example, which is a stupid way to be. But, you know, you take away tribalism out of it, you'd actually be able to learn a lot fucking more. You know, I never understand the tribes in politics because people like, I know you might, someone in the comments might now is going to be like, oh, well, you lot are tribal. Like, no, politically, I've always swung every fucking which way, whatever made sense to the betterment of society. And just happens to be that's what left-wing politics are. I never used to be left-wing, you know.
And we disagree on topics.
I really explained it. Sorry, go on, Christine.
I was just going to say, you and I have a very different take on drug use, for instance. We disagree on that topic.
What was we talking? Because my memory is really bad. So,
well, I think you've said stuff along the lines in the past where you just really have no time for it, and it's kind of their fault, and they're just really dirtbags. For better, I'm sorry if I'm only trying to remember what the gist was. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. And I think it's self-medication as a result of trauma. And yes, if you're a dirtbag, you're a dirtbag when you're on drugs, or you're a dirtbag when you're not on drugs.
Did I say that in the past?
Yeah.
Oh, well, my position has definitely changed on that.
Okay.
But, you know, but again, I did grow up in an area where drugs were not just a choice, but a badge of honor.
Of course.
But I acknowledge I can't be anecdotal of it, you know, because alcoholism has its, you know, as a result of when you see when there's high amounts of poverty, deprivation, depression, all of that, alcoholism shoots up. Same with drug use. Yeah. But like I said, like again, that's my point. I'm not stubborn. I'm not stuck to where I was. I've shifted.
Yeah.
Back then, so it would have been the early kind of blog TV days, YouTube days, and all that. I was center right. My politics was center right. Now my politics are full on fucking crush the bourgeoisie. So, you know, that's what I mean.
Likewise.
It's not even your politics. It's the fact that you're like, you know what? If you bring evidence to me,
yeah,
I'm willing as a thinking person to adjust my thoughts on that subject because you've proven something to me. That's I think even better.
And when it's when it's 20 different studies that keep coming out showing the same results, to go against that just means that you're just tribal, and that's it. You have no interest in changing your opinion or your position, or you're just a complete sociopath and you love the pain and suffering. So it falls on that. And like I said in the past, when I didn't understand about trans people, my friend was quick to make an assumption. I was like, you know what? We don't know what goes on between them. I invited them onto my blog TV, and they came and they had a discussion about what it is they go through, how they identify, what they see, and all this kind of stuff. And it was really eye-opening. And that's the best way. People don't do that. People just are fed people, I see it in the comments, sound bites that they're given from like the Daily Mail, from GB News, from all these right-wing and centrist outlets. Okay, they just keep parroting the same talking points. And if you take that away, Israel's a prime example, because you've got a lot of people on the left and a lot of liberals that are also kind of parroting the Zionist garb that people are believing. And I can use Israel as a great example because a lot of right-wingers fucking hate Israel. They fucking hate Jews as well. And so when it comes to that topic, I follow Jansen Hickel on Twitter. The guy is a massive anti-Semite, but you'll see all the facts that he posts on Israel about Israel are accurate. And all these retweets and all this kind of stuff, because I've seen it from other people who have a more objectional view on it. And so I follow him so I can see the reactions in the crowd, and it's just a bunch of anti-Semitic stupid crap. But that's the point. And the point is, it's like, you know, I've lost my train of thought, but anyway, you know, it's about
yeah, but
evidence.
Like all four of us here disagree about different subjects. Like for example, the drugs topic. Like I am very anti people smoking weed in public because it affects people like me really badly because I have really bad mental health problems.
Me too.
And it really aggravates it. Now I'm all for if you want to do it in the privacy of your home, feel free if you want to do that, but feel free. Just don't do it in public where it can negatively affect other people that aren't you.
Or
I mean,
walk
smoking
6
weed is still
meters
the same
away
as,
from
like,
me.
passive smoking. Yeah.
Walk
You know.
6 meters away from me and smoke all you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But not next to me.
I mean, and thank you very much, TLD, for liking the show. But you mentioned earlier that you can't win, but you can win if people would stop complaining about seeing people that they like to see stereotyped not being a fucking stereotype on their fucking television all the fucking time and not calling that shit fucking woke. That would be a win, you know, and that means obviously not, you know, going for your best interest personally. You know, I mean, I gather you're black yourself by looking at the screen here with your dreads and shit. So,
and I know I get heated in my responses, but that's the
Yeah.
Greek in me. It's nothing. It's never. It's not a personal attack. I never think it's a personal attack. You know, and feel free to call me a cunt as well, Christine.
Cunt. Even back, you call me one. I've got a necklace that says it. Even back in the day, I'm gonna go put it on. Even back in the day when you're trying to incorporate different races and different ethnic backgrounds and such into like commercials and TV and stuff like that, there was just like this theme for years where if they had black kids and white kids like in a commercial playing in a park, the black kid always got the basketball. So it's still happening.
Yeah.
Even on those micro, like that's micro, but it's just insidious, you know?
That just reminds me of like these two kids, a white kid and a black kid, fighting in the shopping mall. The mall police come along, and without a second thought, they just arrest the black kid. Even though the black kid didn't start it, it was the white kid who started it, and the black kid was defending himself from the white kid who started it all. But when the mall cops come along, they arrest the black kid. The white kid is totally left alone. He's actually perplexed by seeing all of this, and actually gets a bit pissed off. He actually starts to defend the black kid, the white kid who started the fight, by saying, you know, why aren't you arresting me or something like that. It was incredible. You know, these things, you know, in society still fucking happen. People still stereotype. People still judge by the color of your fucking skin. It still happens. They still profile, you know. And somebody like Rick B was mentioning that profile is a good thing. It's not. Trust me, I don't like being profiled. I fucking hate it. You know, which is why when I'm working, I got my lanyard over there. It's the rainbow lanyard in my car, not my current car, but I forgot to take it out of my previous car. But in my previous car, I had a rainbow around my wing, my rear view mirror, because I get a lot of LGBTQ customers jumping in my car, and I don't want them to think that me looking the way I do is your stereotypical Indian Islamic homophobe, you know, because I'm not, you know. So I do whatever I can to appease them. And then some people tell me, well, what happens if you get somebody who doesn't like gays? And I'm thinking, well, fuck them. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If you don't like fucking gay people and you have an issue with me, you know, being bisexual, then fuck you. I don't fucking care, you know. So your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah. I still get the stereotype that women can't drive, and it drives me nuts no pun intended.
Hey.
But in the Army, I used to drive 10-ton trucks, and I in fact drove 10-ton trucks on ice roads. So don't tell me I can't fucking drive. Not only that, I would carry what we call a beaver tail, which is a trailer as long as the truck itself. And I would pull other trucks with my truck. We drove down to Florida a couple times on the ice roads up north. Buddy, I can drive. I instructed drivers.
Yeah, but overall, you lot still suck at driving. Just fucking block the roads and doing your makeup and your hair and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And yeah,
the funny thing is that, like accidents do happen with men all the fucking time. But the moment I'm driving along and I have a passenger in my car and they see a woman do something really stupid, they go, "Oh yeah, she's a woman." You know, just totally ignoring the fact that we see men crash cars and do stupid things all the fucking time. I've seen it all the fucking
Speeding. That's the worst one of the lot.
Even yesterday, like I was at one of these sort of like traffic lights are designed for roadworks. And the moment it turned green, I saw in my mirror that this guy's going to drive right past me, and he did. Yeah, and you know, and even though he shouldn't be doing that, but I predicted that he would do that because that's what kept me safe in my job all these fucking years. You know, I mean, by predicting stupidity. You know, and it was probably a dude. I think it was a dude who did that. But I just happened to follow the guy all the way to a train station, dropping my customer at a train station in Epping Forest. So today I'm going to fucking Chesham. By the way, I'm leaving in about 5 minutes.
25, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye
I
on the
did the
clock.
same thing, Zam, when I drove motorcycle. You had to predict everyone. Like, and so many people, you could just tell how they would drift. And they wouldn't signal, but they'd be drifting for a while, and then they just change lanes, and you're right there. Like you just.
Well, Christine, actually, the stereotyping actually happens in the insurance, and actually, it's the other way around. Young males tend to get insured for a lot higher price than women do, even like as a teen boy or girl, whatever. Because usually, yeah,
right. But
and you're
in
totally
that in that regard.
I was going to bring that up, but now they can't do that anymore because at one time here, my insurance would have been lower because statistically, I have a list. Statistically, I was less likely to speed, reckless drive, drunk drive. So my insurance would be lower, but now there's equal rights. And I think this is one of the very few areas that it shouldn't occur. But
oh, mate, corporations were fuck the insurance companies. As soon as somebody complained about that law in this country, they were very quick to change it to say, okay, no, that's fine. We'll charge everyone equally. And of course, women got stiffed on that. But when it comes to these kind of areas, you know, it should be about the statistics.
I remember Hassan Abbey debating Andrew Tate over this, and then he mentioned the fact Andrew Tate going on about how women are shittier drivers than men. And then Hassan Abbey brought up the insurance thing, which was the best excuse, because obviously this means something, because insurance companies want to fucking make money and save money, which is why women were having low insurance rates, which kind of shut Andrew Tate up. It made him look like the fucking idiot that he is. Andrew Tate also once complained about how he wouldn't go on a plane with a female pilot because for some reason he thinks only men are capable of flying planes, which is really fucking stupid. But the ironic thing is that now he's obviously going to trial for sex trafficking and shit like that. His lawyers are women. His lawyers are fucking women. And this is also the same guy who would go on and make videos about how reading books is for dickheads and stupid people and losers, even though he's got a book of his own that he's trying to sell. And on top of that, his lawyers, who must be losers themselves, have read lots of fucking books to get into their position that they're in right now. So what the fuck? I mean, anybody who listens to Andrew Tate is a fucking idiot. I had to remind my cousin about the allegory of fucking the Matrix being that for transgenderism, because he uses that fucking Matrix shit on me as well, which really.
I'm not gonna have you shitting on my hero, you piece of shit. Fuck you. G for life.
No,
I was just saying, I was like, pretending to be an advocate.
But I mean, but again, I don't know. I mean, like me personally, I found that it's usually usually the women drivers and male drivers, the shitty ones are the ones who are mixed, basically. So you get
what
some
was his
shit.
nickname? Was it Top G? I think it was Top G.
He calls himself Top G. You know the funny thing, he still brags about having loads of women.
When I muted you, was like, you know, don't talk about Top G, but I couldn't fucking remember it, so I botched it up. My apologies.
The stupidest thing is that, you know, he's obviously gone up with his new grift of being a Muslim, which is something it's been very lucrative for him, but there's so much misogyny within Islam. But he at the same time is doing very un-Islamic things, like fucking having a whole fucking host of women over his house, you know, premarital shit like that, having sex with them or whatever, and bragging about it. These are things you can't really do. Yeah, it's haram. You can't be doing shit like that, Andrew Tate. But, you know, he still looks like a hero to all his incel followers I mean, people like him, you know, these alphas, their followers are always fucking incels. You know what I mean? So he relies on them. You know, he wants to keep people incels. You know, without incels, the guy's a nobody.
And he only has female lawyers. You know this, right? You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, he's got female lawyers, yeah.
so he can look good to the jury. Like, oh no, I like women. I hired
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
but
that's a
it is,
great point.
but hopefully the jury are not that fucking stupid. I really hope. And you know what? I think his tank is falling because his stock is falling. His not his tank. His stock is tanking. Because since he's been to jail and he you don't see him as much of him anymore. But unfortunately, there's a lot of Andrew Tate clones out there and wannabes and shit like that, and misogyny is definitely on the rise, which is a real shame.
Well, he went down as soon as he said, "I'm going." Was it Romania? Because I'm allowed to beat women there, and they don't give a shit. And Romania was like,
police.
I can get away with it. Yeah, it was after basically when, as soon as he shit on Romanian police and law, that was it. They came after him. They're like, "Fuck you! You're not gonna insult us." So they're making an example of Andrew Tate, because
Guys,
right.
I have to go now. I'm doing some work today, so I will see you guys later. Check out some of my reviews.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Chesham. I'm picking up somebody from Lord's Cricket Ground. I've got to be there for 12:15. I can get there in about 20 minutes at this time of night. Yeah. So I've already looked. I mean, already, if you can see on my thing, it says 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll get there very quickly.
Can you come back?
I won't be back in time. I mean, I'll go to Cheshire. It'll take me about an hour there, and then an hour back, and by that time, I'm going to be done, and I just want to be go to bed, watch some Pornhub, and sleep. You know what I mean? So I'll be done. So thank you very much, everyone. And by the way, just want to mention one more thing because I want to do it on this particular platform instead of Facebook. My bird Juicy, she died a few days ago. She got caught between my cupboard and my wall, and I didn't realize. And then when I did realize, it was a bit too late. So rest in peace, Juicy. Sorry I wasn't there for you earlier. I was crying so fucking much once I found out she died. I've only got 2 birds left now, and it was one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever experienced because I love that little girl so much. She was fantastic. She was really sweet. She'd be on my lap sometimes, just whilst these 2 fuckers are in their cage. She'd be in my lap, and I miss her so much. She was so dear to me. I miss her. So I'm off. Actual Fandom. He's the fucking man, by the way. I love this guy. Actual Fandom. Dane is his name. I called him something else by accident the other day, and I do apologize for that. But Actual Fandom, fucking awesome. All right, guys.
Sam, I apologize for making that joke.
What
about
joke?
Your bird. I was like,
I apologize. No joke. No, it's fine. It's fine. But I have to do some work now, fellas. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.
Catch you later, mate. See ya.
Shit, I wasn't even thinking.
Don't
matter with it. Don't matter about it, Chrissy.
Don't overthink things here. We are so blasé about everything that if it doesn't fly above our heads, it just doesn't register, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's all good. Okay, so moving on. We had the US and the UK bombing Yemen, and to quote Joe Biden, for the fun of it, because
I was in the hospital. I didn't even hear about that.
Oh yeah. This week they bombed Yemen, illegally bombed Yemen. They have no right to do so. It's they're not the ones in danger, but because So let's put this into context. They will happily bomb a country or take action against a country that's hurting commercial profits, but not take action against a country committing genocide. Yeah. So the minute the Houthis, who politically we don't side with, but what they're doing is awesome. Okay, the Houthis are basically participating in economic sanctions because the world won't do it against Israel. The Houthis are doing it. So they've been hijacking tankers and all this, and but there's very specific. They're hijacking tankers that are bound for Israel or Israeli sympathizers. Yeah. So they're the ones they're taking to kind of cause an economic effect. And of course, the US and the UK, because nobody holds truth to power at all, just are actively bombing Yemen. It's not working. It's not going to stop the Houthis. They're still carrying on.
And they're
But,
doing
yeah.
it in the only way they can, right? Like, that's the only power, the only maneuver they have, and they're using it. Whether we agree with pirates or not, like, that's the only way they can do it right now, and they're taking a stand. I commend them for that.
Yeah, and they're not boarding the ships and murdering the people occupying the ships. They are just hijacking the ships.
Right.
Yeah, they're hijacking the ships. They're taking the ships. They're telling the people that run the ships, get the fuck out, and they're just taking the ships.
I figured that. I figured that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's had a huge economic impact on Israel, and it's great. It's also had an economic impact in other places, and it's fantastic. But again, it just shows you how the West, they're just evil pieces of shit. They only care about the bottom line. They didn't care about the Palestinians. They're happy to let that genocide happen. But as soon as you start affecting profit, that's when you see immediate action.
But
look at. Sorry, go ahead, Gas.
I was just going to say, but there's been a bit of a backlash because basically what happened was that Richie Sunak, authorised the strike without taking it to the House of Commons first. And there's been there's been a massive, like a lot of MPs have basically said you should have come through first, like Pride Cymru have said so, SNP have said so, Labour backbenchers have said so. I mean,
only the Labour backbenchers, not the front benches. The front benches don't give a fuck. They're happy to just let whatever they want to do and carry on. Of course, even in America, I hate this fucking cough. It won't go away. But even in America, they've just, you need to go through Congress. You need to get approval, but they would have approved it anyway, so it doesn't really make a fucking difference. Christine.
But they didn't, right?
Yeah.
Just like when they did the Iraqi thing. But I was just going to say, it's just another great example of they don't care if you're black, because Rwanda, the whole massacre there, 800,000 people in 100 days were wiped out, and not by like grand machine guns or whatever, but with machetes. You know how long and hard you have to work to kill that many people in 100 days? I mean, General Dallaire.
Who backed those groups? Again, CIA backed.
Yes.
They're all CIA backed. All these
and
groups.
At the same time, General Dallaire, who was a Canadian, was in charge of the UN there at the time, was phoning the UN, faxing the UN, saying, listen, I've talked to the tribal leaders. This is before it started. This is happening. This is coming. It's going to happen on this day. The UN would hang up on him, and then they didn't even take his calls.
Yeah, they just allowed it to happen. They just didn't care.
Yep.
If it was something that was going to affect profits, they would have, they would have jumped in. But so here, they're just indiscriminately bombing Yemen. I mean, they just backed the Saudis, who had a huge bombing campaign against them, absolutely decimated the country. Yemen is yet again another. It's like the Ukraine of the Middle East. It's drawn between two powers, being, the Saudis and the Iranians. They're having their plants in there. Yeah, so you've got the Houthis and the other group, the other side. Huh?
I was going to say
the Tutsis that's
Rwanda. I know. I just caught myself.
No, it's the Houthis and it's the Sunnis and the Shiites, basically. It's the Sunnis and the Shiites, just fucking. So when the Iranian-backed government won the elections in Yemen, the Saudis just started bombing the shit out of them. So now the West is doing it, and but the Houthis are like, fuck you, we don't care. We're still going to keep doing it. You're not going to stop us. And they've hit a couple of rockets have hit. I think like a US ship and a British ship as well. So that's good. I don't give a fuck about the US and the UK. Obviously, I don't want soldiers to die, ballsy. But if they're part of the problem, then fuck it. You get what you deserve. You know what I mean?
That's ballsy, though. That's fucking ballsy.
Yeah, and also like that was funny as well. So you'll also read in the news, Pakistan got hit by Iranian rockets and all of that. But I guarantee you it was a retaliation for something Pakistan did, because Pakistan is a puppet state of the United States. When Imran Khan said, no, I will not participate in sanctions against Russia because it's going to hurt our economy. We don't want to get dragged into a war. Within a few weeks, the United States helped conduct a coup in Pakistan. And this only happened last year, okay, 2021, 2022, whenever the war started. All right. So now they have a puppet government. Again, another far-right fucking puppet government. And so they're also helping participate in the proxy war. And there you have the fucking Taliban, of all people, telling Pakistan and Iran, "Oi, calm down. This isn't our fight. Don't get brought in by the Americans." The fucking Taliban, of all people.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a full-blown regional war now. It's a regional war. It's a regional war in the Middle East. And the only end we'll see is if, like, the United States is wiped off the fucking face of the earth, because it's just never gonna fucking end. You know, it never ends.
They've got their fingers in every country.
Every country. There isn't a single country, the United States hasn't interfered.
They have they have a plan on how they could take over every country in the world and how they would do it. It's all in writing. An invasion plan, a war plan, how they would rebuild that country once they take it over.
Yeah, well, they don't rebuild anything. They just steal all the they privatize everything and transfer the wealth to the corporations. They take everything.
Well, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
But like they have plans to invade Canada, how they would invade the UK, like every friggin' country, even their friends.
They wanted, in the 1930s, they wanted to go to war against Britain because Britain was a superpower and the United States wanted to bring them down. And, you know, one of the things they saw, because again, who do you think gave a lot of money to the Nazi Party? You know, don't forget the Nazi parties went to New York. They were in Madison Square Garden or wherever it was. They had a whole fucking parade there. America got a lot of money there because they wanted to goad them into a war against Britain and France to kind of destroy them as a global superpower, and it worked.
And the only reason they stepped in the end was because they had been selling so much to the UK. They knew they weren't going to get their money back if the UK lost. So they had to go.
Yeah.
And they waited 3 years. And they waited like 3 years and they're still like, oh, we helped win the war. You came in at the final fucking minute, just before the buzzer, buddy. Russia did the heavy lifting. All right?
Yeah, Russia won the fucking World War II. Yeah. I don't want to listen. I don't want to take away from every single person that fought in that war. They're all, you know, fucking heroes.
No, but they did the heavy lifting.
But the Russians are always the ones that are forgotten about by the West. Who are the ones who actually helped win the war, because their sheer fucking numbers helped. So if Hitler hadn't invaded Russia, he could have won.
Yep.
But he made the same mistake Napoleon did, his hero, and that's what cost him in the end. Because now we're just gonna fucking crush you now, and they just went full to the wall.
Don't poke the bear.
You know, because again, my granddad, he fought in the war. I laugh. It's not funny, but I laugh because he got his plane shot down 5 times because he was a submarine spotter. Him and his co-pilot, they were submarine spotters, and that's what they would do. So they spot the positions of the submarines, relay it back. Of course, they were very prone to attacks, and they got shot down 5 times. Survived every fucking single one of them. Still kept doing it, and the only time it took a bullet in the knee was from a British person. Okay, I kept thinking it was from. I kept thinking he got shot in the knee from a communist during the Civil War, accidentally, but no, he got shot in the leg by a British sniper.
Yep.
Because they thought he was communist.
You know what? are famous for fragging their own people. They probably killed just as many of their own people. They killed 7 of our guys in Iraq.
Yeah.
We were on a range. It was in the morning briefing to everyone there. Hey, we're going there. We're going to do practice range. Small arms, rifles, pistols. 2 jets went overhead. Said, we're taking fire. From a rifle? Come on. They're not going to hit you. They bombed them and killed them. My friend was there.
Yeah.
He
They're
survived.
stupid. The US military are dumb. They're just dumb. They're just really fucking dumb. It's such a tragedy. The amount of friendly fire that they caused out there is just ridiculous. I just want to get to this advanced comment here.
All right.
US went to war with Canada in 1802 and got our asses handed to us. Yeah, listen, Britain could have taken back the United States if they wanted to, but it just wasn't economically viable anymore, and they started profiting from trade anyway, so that's why they didn't bother.
Well,
But yeah, you tried it in 1812.
We went down there, burnt the White House down, went to New Orleans, had a couple drinks, and said, let's go home.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's just too expensive to like, yeah, we could hand your asses to you further if we wanted, but
yeah,
exactly. You know, and don't fuck with Canada, man. I told you before, man. Don't fuck with Canada. Canadians are fucking crazy. You know, they might be polite, but crazy.
The Germans, that's how we got our name. The Germans called us Crazy Canucks.
Yeah, the Crazy Canucks.
World War.
Yeah. Guys.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because you have the same tactical advantage that the Russians have, that your cold is really, really fucking cold. It's not. I don't think it's Siberian cold, but it's close.
It depends on where you go, right?
Listen, the Russians are going to beat the Finnish army. You know, so the Russians, when they fought against Finland, they got their asses handed to them because they weren't as well prepared for a winter war as the Finnish are, because the Finnish practically live in the fucking snow. And Canada, pretty much, if it comes to a war, just don't do it in winter in Canada.
Yeah.
Because even the mooses will get you.
Well, I showed you the snow earlier. That's 2 days worth of snow. We're getting 13 inches tonight.
Right.
I'm glad we're not getting anything here. I can't do snow, man. I can't.
You can't take 13 inches, Ginger? That's not what I heard.
I could take 13 inches, but not cold. It needs to be warmed up before I can take it. You know what I mean? Guys, sorry, do you want to say something?
Yeah. I was just going to bring up. What about bring up is a bit of a British political issue, Christine. So basically, what's happened recently is there's been a vote for sending immigrants to Rwanda to be processed before coming back here again if they get through. So this has been quite controversial to the point that even Tory backbenchers have been rebelling against it. That's no, it's nothing shit.
So what we want to do is we want to, again, it's just fucking political grandstanding and virtue signaling. Immigration's out of control. Of course, immigration's out of control when you've shut down the fucking Home Office to the point where it's barely functionable, and you've closed down all legal ways of claiming asylum. So people coming over in boats and all this kind of stuff. But
I
because
saw a
immigration
documentary on that.
Yeah, well, there you go. And because it's so out of control, that they want to ship them all off to Rwanda. Even though doing that costs less than it would building fucking houses here to house people. And so, of course, now this is like, it's ridiculous because the Tories have no policies. They have nothing to go on. So all the news keeps talking about and putting in, and this is all just deliberate, guys. What you need to know, this is all just deliberate propaganda. This is deliberate, what's the fucking word? Just look at this shiny thing over here. Distraction. There you go. It's a distraction because they have. Yeah, they all know that they're going to shoot this bill down, then they're going to go back and do all that because that's all they've got until we go into an election.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. And it's what British politics is like, guys. It's become a fucking farce.
No,
You
no.
know.
I mean, I know it's a distraction tactic, but the fact that even the members of the Tory party itself have said this is really bad policy shows you how bad
Yeah.
of a fucking policy it is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's classic conservatives. Yeah, you're right.
no, but I mean, members of the party itself have said this is shit. Let's not do it.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean. The
Tory party-
backbenchers. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
ridiculous.
Moose
And-
doesn't have a plural form. Mooses.
Mooses, yeah.
Mooses. Sorry, I know it probably doesn't, but you know, hey, I can't speak English. What can I say? Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on. That's all I've got on politics anyway. So we can move on to TV and film now. Oh well, seeing as I've got you here, Mr. Gary. Yes, Meese. Exactly. That's the plural for Moose. It's Meese. The Avengers, the British TV show of the 60s,
Hell yeah.
is coming back. They're remaking it because, you know, there's no originality left. Caveat. They said they're
I
remaking
love
it.
the fucking
Now,
Can I just say I love the fucking Avengers? So
me
here's my
too,
mind.
mate. Me too. Me too. Fucking.
I know that the film they made in the 90s wasn't very good, but I thought the best thing they did was have flaming Ray Fiennes as flaming John Steed. That was flaming great casting.
That was great casting. It was a shit film, but that was great casting. You know. Who was his partner? Was it Emma Peel?
It was Emma Peel. It was Uma Thurman.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I used to have the hots when it was Diane. God, what's her name? Diane Rigg, who played the original Emma Peel. Good God, that was awesome. But no, not those Avengers, Mister Cheeto. By the way, if you have anything you want to talk about TV wise, now we're in the TV territory, so feel free to jump on the stream. But the British classic, The Avengers, is getting a remake now. I want this. If they do it, please set it in the 60s.
Yes, agreed.
Please set it in the 60s.
Should be a what's the word? A nostalgia piece set in a specific date, which is 1960s. Do that,
Yeah, do that. I would fucking love that because I know if they bring it back today, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to feel the same. And you know, do make it tongue in cheek and fun and have fun with it. Don't take it serious and all this.
What are we
kind of shit.
talking? What are we bringing back?
So I don't know if you ever watched The Avengers, a classic British TV show. It had
Is that the one with Penny? No, they had a female character and a male character, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And one of the actresses was actually a Canadian at one point because they changed them out a couple of times.
Yeah, so they had Emma Peel was played by Diana Rigg. Then they had Joanna Lumley, and then I think they had somebody else.
I watched that.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah,
classic.
Absolutely
Classic.
Yeah,
What'd you say, Christine?
I used to watch it with my dad. It brings back good memories.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Gaz.
it was. I mean, I'm just hoping that whoever they cast the right people because, as I said, with what I just said about the 90s film, with them getting John Steed, the thing they got wrong was having Uma Thurman as bloody Emma Peel. That's no.
Oh, she sucked, and Sean Connery was fucking awful as a villain as well.
The bear flaming was it bear dressed in?
I think Gaz's mic is fucked up.
Yeah. No, I can hear him.
All right.
I can hear him.
The teddy bears flaming conference over it was.
Yeah, whatever it was, I can't remember. The new Battlestar Galactica is set in the same universe as Ron Moore. Why are they making Battlestar Galactica?
I like the old
Cheetah,
one.
I'm gonna put you on mute, you son of a bitch.
Hey,
Stop
I
naming all the
invited a
fucking
friend,
Avengers.
and I can't see the comments, so maybe he's already said hi. But if you haven't and you're here, just
what's his username?
I fucking forget.
What's his first name? Their first name.
I want to say Daniel.
Is it actual fandom? Is his username?
Tell me what I'll know who he is if he tells me what we talk about the majority of the time.
Okay, because I've only got one comment from somebody called Actual Fandom that says, "Sorry, Sam, about the obviously the bird dying."
Okay.
I've got no other comments that have come up,
All right.
unfortunately. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, make that remake it, but set it in the 60s. Be faithful to the original, and see where it goes. It could be good fun.
Oh. I meant to ask you, Gigi, have you watched the new Gladiators yet?
No, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's literally like the last one, but it's got the heart of the original. It's not just
good. The Sky version didn't have that. The Sky version was god awful.
No,
I have a lot of trouble with your accent, Gaz. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, maybe Ginger can sort of clear it up for me occasionally.
No, I'll tell you what. I've been taking elocution lessons. I'll start bringing those lessons in. Sorry.
Oh no, it's your accent, not your elocution, hon.
Oh, is that? He was just talking about the old gladiators. So, obviously we had gladiators. That was US gladiators, and but the British one was like the absolute best of the best.
Oh yes,
like of all the gladiators that they've been around the world, the British one was the best one of the bunch. There was just something about the atmosphere that was so awesome that people like. They've brought it back again. They brought it back in the mid 2000s, but it was shit. But they've brought it back yet again under the BBC Nugs before it was ITV, and it's fantastic. Apparently, like the remake, everyone was singing its praises, and that
again.
So
that's something I remember watching back in the day with family.
Yeah. Christine, if you could watch the British version, I would advise you to do so because it is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I wasn't a big fan of the US version. Like, it wasn't that great. But the UK version is one of the few times where we've taken a property from somewhere else and made it better than the original. But it was just a whole vibe. Like, I want to saw it live as well. I got to see Gladiators live at Wembley. Yeah. That's how big it was. Like, that's how it's just. It just think of it as WWE at its height, but for the UK. That's what Gladiators was. It was massive. Like the everyone sat and watched it on a Saturday night. Everyone talked about it.
I only watched the American one because honestly, I didn't really like it that much. But because it was with family, that's why I liked it. So I'll try the British one.
Try the British one. It had a lot of heart. You really got to know the gladiators. It was just brilliant. It wasn't just about task this, bang next, cheap shit promo, all that. It was just a lot of fun. It was family goodness done really, really well. And yeah, I remember going to see it live, and it was fantastic. And
it's very wrestling in that the fact that they would have like literal heel characters. Like they had a character called the Wolf, who literally was like this nasty wrestling heel, but in real life he's this really nice guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was
put the act on for the show, but he was like cool. Like those two wrestlers we talked about the other day, where the one guy got hurt and the other guy had to sneak in just to visit him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing, like kayfabe. But I used to work out with Rhino, one of the gladiators called Rhino, and it was a lovely bloke. This was in my phase of when I was trying to get like a bit fitter, and so near me where we have like a place where you just go there to basically, it's where the bodybuilders go that compete across the country. They go to that gym, and he was there, so he was helping me with like some workout tips and all that. Really nice guy, but I think he got done for armed robbery a couple of years later.
Really nice guy, but
really nice guy. His name is Chris. But yeah, he got done for armed robbery. It was a shame. But
was it not Shadow who got done for failing armed robbery?
Oh, was it Shadow? I can't remember. One of them got done. But yeah, I loved Shadow and Saracen and Cobra were my favorites.
They were really nice until they were really nice too until they kicked that dog.
Yeah, basically that's how it goes. But of course, everyone loved Jet. Jet was like the goddess, the Greek, or in this case, Turkish goddess, who was every male fantasy. Everyone wanted to be crushed by her thighs and all that kind of shit. Like, yeah, she was
super fit and strong. super fit and strong and beautiful?
Yeah. I'll show you what she looked like. She was just beyond stunning. And there was a couple of hotties there, but she was the one that. I mean, look, even if you, as soon as I type it into Google, I get two options: Jet2 Holidays and Jet Gladiators. That's so let me get. Oh, I've done it in the wrong fucking place. I should do it in this. Jet.
No, Rhino wasn't the one who went to prison. It was Shadow.
Yeah. Why do I have to jump through hoops? Oh god, that's just
Hermie.
Sorry, go on 1 second.
Yep.
Yep, there we go. Right. So gonna give it some. Yep, there we go. Right, okay. So present, share screen.
I've got to brace myself.
Mm-hmm. So that was absolute fucking stunner.
One of my teen crushes.
Yep, ditto. Just absolute
beautiful hair.
Beautiful
hair. And
gorgeous
smile and
90s.
eyes and nose and cheeks, great.
Yeah, and also she was like she was a gymnast, so like she used to like whenever she got presented, used to do like cartwheels and all that sort of stuff. She was just the bee.
Gymnastics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was just every man's fantasy was Jet. And that's like literally the minute like she was on screen, ratings just like shut up. Because everyone would be like, Jet's on screen, let's go watch it, all this kind of shit. But she didn't last long because she suffered an injury. She broke her back on the show, and she suffered for it ever since. But
yeah,
you know,
and she's still incredibly hot.
Oh, she still looks incredible to this day.
Good.
Yeah.
Please buy me Dad. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I
said mommy. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I'm gonna sit and watch it with my nephews as well. I want them to watch it. Good old classic fun. It'll be like trying to pull teeth with my fucking sister-in-law. It's too violent. Oh, shut up, fucking mollycoddled. All right. So Alec Baldwin has been indicted. Let me get the article up.
Really? For what?
For the he's been charged again with the manslaughter of the person that died on the film set of his when a gun went off.
Can I just ask a question? Wouldn't this be double jeopardy? Wouldn't this be double jeopardy?
I don't know. If they caught him on something else, it might not be. So let's see. I'll read the article. I didn't read the article on purpose to read it here. I just saw the headline. So let me just share the screen. What's Cheeto saying? She won the hardest mission and dragged my corpse across the finish line. Cobra was my favorite wingman. Oh, you fuck off, Cheeto, you nerd. Okay, so Alec Baldwin has been indicted on charges of involuntary manslaughter as prosecutors once again seek to hold actor accountable for the on-set death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin, 65, initially was charged with the case in 2023, but the charges were dropped 3 months later after Baldwin's defense team raised questions about whether his Colt 45 was functioning properly when it fired. Hutchins was preparing a film scene with Baldwin at a ranch, blah, 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 in 2021. When the gun went off, Baldwin has maintained that he did not pull the trigger. If convicted, Baldwin faces up to 18 months in prison. We look forward to our day in court, said Baldwin's attorney, Luke Nikas and Alex Spiro. Oh, they're fucking Greek as they come. In a statement on Friday, two special prosecutors, Carrie Morrissey, Jason Lewis, sent the gun for further forensic testing last summer. Their expert
it's easy to prove.
Say that again?
It's easy to prove if a weapon would go off without touching the trigger. They'll prove it if it's true.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they did say when the case was first kind of around, they were talking about how some of these have a hairline trigger and things like that. But yeah.
Well, then it's still his fault because he put his finger on it.
No, but it's a prop gun, so it doesn't really have a trigger mechanism the same way a normal gun does. I don't think.
There's
No,
no
it does
trigger.
because it was firing blanks.
The
Yeah.
blanks are
But-
different, so therefore the bullets. But even blanks have powder in them, so they're still
Yeah.
dangerous. But
Yeah.
I mean-
So
a trigger
let me
is
read.
still
Let me
your
hang on before we go off.
responsibility.
Okay, yeah, let's not go on. Hang on, let
Right.
me just keep. So, okay, so the experts reconstructed the gun, which had been broken during FBI testing, and concluded that it could only have been fired by a pull of the trigger. This fatal incident was a consequences of that. So, why was it broken during FBI testing?
He'll get
Oh.
off now.
They tested it and it broke.
He'll get off because his lawyers will argue that the FBI fucked it up.
Yep, exactly. So this fatal incident was the consequences of the hammer being manually retracted to its fully rearward and cocked position followed. At some point, by the pull or rearward depression of the trigger, the report concluded. Although Alec Baldwin repeatedly denies pulling the trigger, given the testings and findings and observations reported here, the trigger had to be pulled or depressed sufficiently to release the fully cocked or retracted hammer of the evidence revolver. Morrison
So this
Lewis,
was a two-stepper? Like
yeah,
you had to pull it back and pull?
yeah,
Oh, it's his fault.
yeah, and that's why they're arguing about it because it wouldn't have gone off any other way, basically. It's unfortunate, terrible challenge. Yeah, I'm just gonna see. Yeah. So basically, that's it. This one's just going back into the fucking history of it.
Right, but
In
my
my entire time around firearms, I've only once seen a weapon go off without the finger on the trigger, and that's only because I happened to be looking down at the guy and I saved his ass because I was a witness. Because that so doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, when they put it in your hands, baby, anything goes off.
but what I was going to say is that it. But the thing is, with it being blanks, I'm just surprised that it killed her anyway. Because surely, the whole point of being blanks is that you're not going to kill somebody.
No,
Well, that's what killed Brandon Lee. It was the same thing that killed Brandon Lee. Why is that, Christine? Sorry, you're better at explaining it.
There's a couple reasons. There's still black powder in a blank. The only thing you're missing is projectile at the front. So you still have the casing with black powder in it. What can happen is if anything gets in the barrel, even if it's a stone, a rock, or whatever, that's going to be propelled forward. Or if the casing itself somehow shatters even a little bit, those are shards coming at you, right? Like a frag grenade would have shards. So it is very possible. And you don't screw around, even if it's blanks, even if you think it's empty. You never put your finger on the trigger unless you're willing to destroy something at the other end of that fucking barrel.
There you go.
Ever.
Thank you for that. I can remember one of my favorite shows as a child being cancelled because the main character was killed on set to a blank. Voyagers and John Eric Hexum. So the show was called Voyagers, was it? And John Eric was the guy that died, Vance. But yeah, there you go. I mean, that's why they don't use them that much anymore. They just use CGI for the most part. A lot of the fires, a lot of the gun smoke you see from things is CGI, especially if it's within a crowd. If it's one-on-one, they'll still use blanks. But yeah, there's a lot of. He had to had his finger on the trigger, regardless of blanks. Something could shoot out. Yeah, there you go.
I used to demonstrate to new recruits on basic training how blanks could still hurt you. I'd just put a piece of paper out, put the weapon near it, boom, and you could see holes in it.
Oh shit! Oh, there you go. Fucking hell.
Not like a big friggin' hole, but like little.
No, but yeah, and the projectile speed of if it's a shard or a fragment like that, it's enough to penetrate and cause.
I mean, it's not going to have the
Brandon Lee.
It's not going to have the great aim that a normal bullet, but it's
Yeah.
still, if you're in front of it, it's going to hurt or kill. And like you
Yeah.
said, Brandon Lee had it right like this.
Yeah, which I still can't fucking believe that they did that. That was just anyway. What a waste. He would have been.
Oh, he was great.
He was great.
And the
That would have happened. That would have catapulted him to superstardom.
Yeah, that film would have catapulted him, to absolute superstardom. Well, it did. I mean, it did.
It was good. That was a good film.
Yeah, the first Crow was awesome. Everyone after that has been absolute dog shit. Like, especially the one with Edward Furlong as a Crow.
Oh, I saw that one. That was Dennis Hopper's in that.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it was awful. It was a
didn't see
torture
it.
to watch.
You need to watch it, Christy, for how bad it is.
Okay.
Or watch it for that, for how bad it is. But
It's got the guy who was Angel in it, and what's the name? Is it Tara Reid? Yeah, Tara Reid's in it as well. And
Tara Reid's in it.
If you guys say it's shite, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Okay, good. Yeah, don't waste your time.
All right.
Don't waste your time. Yeah, that's it. That's everything I have. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about or shoot the shit, if not, I can end the show. It's up to you lot. No, okay.
Yeah, I'm out.
No. All right. Well, that's it then. We're going to call it a night. I want to thank every one of my hosts for joining me. It was a more game-heavy time today that we talked about, which is nice. It's always a welcome endeavor when it's mainly gaming, because I love talking about that shit. TLD, thank you as well, sir. Don't have to agree on everything, but every opinion is absolutely welcome. Vance, have a good night. Everyone, have a good night. We'll see you for the next one. Bye, Felicia's.